Yo, what's happening, guys? What's happening? What's going on? What y'all doing? What up, what up, what up? B Tim's coming on for a little while, so he's going to come on and talk about Ryan Upchurch and the interview the lawyer did and stuff, and then we're going to go over BJ's stuff after. So, we got a lot to cover. Let's get into it. Let's get locked in. Because we've missed a couple of BJ streams, and I heard shit was getting a little wild, so we got to go over her bullshit, and we got some more of Ryan's bullshit. So we're gonna get right into it. Rabbit did an interview with the lawyer today. I sent it to your DMs like you told me to do. BTM, you said send it to my DM. I did. Did not go. Here, let me go grab it again. Hold on 1 second. There we go. And I should be able to. All right, there we go. Should be pinned up and ready to go now. Should be pinned, baby. Should be pinned. I sent it to you, but it should be pinned also. So you should have it both ways. What y'all been doing? I see NorCal in the chat. B's in the chat. B's in the chat. What's up, B Thug?
Queen, that defense from Ryan is amazing. It's not real. The judge is not real. Everything's not real.
Yeah, he's fucked. He's so fucked.
Bro, I watched that interview with the lawyer from Down the Rabbit Hole. Oh
yeah, he's fucked.
God. I made sure to tell a lawyer to make sure to get Ryan's Pokemon collection. I heard it's worth $500,000. I told him, so I made sure to give that message. So the lawyer is aware. I made sure to let the lawyer know. So Ryan, don't sell your Pokemon collection. That needs to be given to the family. You know, we want your Charizard. We want your Blastoise. We want whatever fucking Pokemons you got. We're gonna need that for the money. Okay.
We need all the Pokemons.
We need all the Pokemons. Okay. We got to catch them all. We got to catch them all for the pay for the lawsuit.
Well, they're already doing liens on his houses and shit.
Did you see that? I sent you that. That was, oh my fucking God. That's so bad. Gotta catch all the lawsuits. Gotta catch them all.
I mean, damn, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
These exhibits were pretty damn good ones, too.
I didn't know Jay talked to him, and he was still doing this stupid shit on Jay's, too. I was, like, kind of shocked. I didn't know that.
Well, of course she tried to get in on it. Come on now.
I mean, she wasn't entertaining his conspiracy theory. She pushed back a little bit. I was like kind of shocked that he even tried that. He just jumped on every single fucking panel he could.
Any panel he could get on, yeah.
No wonder he tried to jump on ours. Jesus Christ. Gee, show us the Pikachu. Yeah, show us your fucking Pikachu. What kind of Pokemon would Ryan be? Couldn't, like, BJ would be the Snorlax. What kind of, like, what's like a, like, let me see. Meth out Pokemon. Let me see. Pokemon on meth. What Pokemon would that be? Internet meme. Let's see. What Pokemon? We got to find the Pokemon. Drugged out Pokemon. I don't know. We have to look. He could be a hypno. We try to hypnotize his audience to believe his bullshit. He could be that. The hypno. He's the Diglett? Maybe. I want to be Glamour? What the hell is that? I don't know anything about it. I just know it's worth $500,000 and he pried it. If it was me, I would take the poke. I'd be like, this is your collection? You love this collection? And he said, yeah. And I would just put it on like a little fire and burn it in front of him and laugh manically. Like, just laugh while I burn his hopes and dreams in front of my eyes. Oh, you love these cards? These were your childhood cards? Well, suffer. And just start burning his Pokemon cards. Oh, this car you love? Get the monster truck. We're running them over, baby. We're going to burn down all your hopes and dreams, and we're going to live stream it. That's what I would do if I was in their position. We don't need to see his Pikachu. Ah, that's true. We don't need to see his Pikachu. That's for sure. So you want to... Oh, by the way, I find it funny. I found like a clip. I was playing from that, the Hive bar like throwback, which was quite hilarious. Actually, I sent it to Queen, and I picked it at like 2 hours and 8 minutes of before Ryan jumped up. And my exact words was, "You're going to lose everything. You're going to lose in a lawsuit." And Ryan writes in the chat, "I'm already rich and ain't from YouTube." Well, I think things have changed, sir. I think things have changed, Ryan. You might not be rich anymore. And I also asked the lawyer if he was going to go after the catalog. He's going after the catalog. They're going after the catalog, Ryan. You got to play the into what you want to do, Queen. What's up? What were you going to do? Yep, they're going after the catalog. They're going after your Pokemon cards. They're going after your real estate. They're going after your fucking everything you own, Ryan. Everything.
And he don't give a shit. Did you see what I played this morning?
Oh, yeah, I seen that. Oh, my God. I was watching. I was in the chat. I was donating. I was like in and out because I was like...
Well, yeah, you were in and out, so I didn't know if you seen it or not. It was from Psycho Babble. Remember him?
He made another video.
Yeah, I seen that. I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh my God. Did you you don't realize how much this lawyer is going up his ass because he literally for the damages portions, he's demanding liens on the house, his tax returns from fucking 2022, everything. He's got a deed of the trust of his house, warranty of deeds of all the houses. Don't you wish you would have left it in your mom's name? Dummy. He's typing.
Oh, I thought I was muted. I'm sorry. Shit.
It's time for me to berate.
I'm texting. Well, I just wanted to message first before I show these exhibits. I want to make sure because it says not to show certain ones. So I want to make sure that.
Yeah, I would be.
So I want to make sure that I'm okay first before I just, pop these up, make sure I'm sharing the right ones,
Yeah. But
I just wanted to make sure. That's all. I didn't realize I wasn't muted, though.
Okay.
You want to pull up rabbits and get it started, and then I'll take over when you're ready?
Sure. I can pull up the rabbits.
The lawyer one? Yeah, we'll get
started. Can I share one thing for a moment? Can I share one thing?
Yeah.
From the throwback stream? I just want to show you how much I'm right all the time. Here, I'm going to go back.
Show me or show the chat, you mean?
Show the chat. So I want you to
already know. Ben told his ass.
I just want you to listen to this part. Look at the chat. This is Ryan Upchurch. I'm only rich. I'm already rich and I ain't from YouTube. So let's listen to what I say.
Asking to stop and then you heard when she was a kid. I don't understand his thought process. You have videos, you have photos. The grandparents had the photos of her when she was a kid on there. I think he
slow it down.
Yeah. I think you had it fast.
Right. Just slow it down just a hair. You know what I mean? There you go. That should be all right there. I'll slow it down a little bit.
I don't want to sound like BJ.
No, it'll just make you normal. Should make you normal.
Yeah. I don't understand his thought process. You have videos, you have photos. The grandparents had the photos of her when she was a kid on there. I think he privated them now because he's getting harassed by his fans. The grandfather's asking to stop, and then you're comparing photos of the grandfather to random people on TikTok. I mean, it's really messed up. And I think you're really setting yourself up to fall. And there's a lot of your fans that basically sat there. Yeah. And a lot of your fans thought you were very good. You didn't sign up with a record deal, whatnot. And you got to throw that all down the drain. Simple as that. What's going to happen?
It is him.
Oh, what was that? You're going to throw it all down the drain? Who said that? Who said that? Tim said that.
Oh, you gave him a lot of good fucking advice. You told him a lot of good advice in there.
And the key thing is that part of the lawyer's going to talk about that part of the case against him was him comparing the grandfather to the TikToker or whatnot and all this stuff because you accused him of a crime, and that's what they got you for, dummy.
Yep. And check this out. BJ better be paying attention because it wasn't but the very next fucking day. And the lawyer already started putting liens on houses and cars, bitch. So you motherfuckers better start fucking wising up, baby. Because when that judgment hits, baby, they gonna start coming out collecting dualies and trucks and cars and cats and shit. They gonna take it all.
So everyone that says, "Oh, B. Tim's never right. He doesn't know." I literally predicted this fucking situation. And do you know what his arrogant ass said in the bottom? He said this: "I'm already rich, and it ain't from YouTube." Well, not anymore, sir.
You're a broke bitch now.
You won't even have a
broke bitch now.
Hey, they're taking your Pikachu. They're taking your Pokemon, your cars, your houses, your albums. Everything you worked for your entire fucking life is gone.
Down the drain, gone.
You fucking idiot. And all because you couldn't fucking actually sit back and show some empathy. And you deserve it. You actually deserve it more so than anyone I've ever seen on this fucking platform. Actually. Because you could have walked away and paid these people $200,000. Hell, you could have just done an apology video and just said she was real and walked away. But no, your dumbass proceeded to fucking act like a complete fucking moron. And then you harassed the parents of this deceased child after the fact. You're a nasty person. So I just wanted to play that. We'll go to the interview. I just wanted to play that part. You know, I'll jump to the interview. So I'll get that. I'll show that. But could you believe that I actually told him that and he just like completely disregarded that shit? I can't believe it.
Yo,
all right.
I mean, you've been told his ass shit. You tried to tell him twice.
I should have. I'm gonna like the funniest. I'm sharing my screen again. The funniest thing.
Hold on 1 second. Google Glamo, the Pokemon Smarty Pants beats him.
The Pokemon.
Keena, thank you for so much for dropping a membership on us. Membership maxing. Yeah, you already told his ass. You tried to tell him, but he didn't want to listen. Now he's learning the hard way, right?
Yeah, BJ, take note. Take note. I told him. I try to tell you. I try to tell a lot of people about shit.
Well, you know what? Fuck them. Let's let them learn the hard way. That's what they want to do anyways, right?
Yep. I'm sharing my screen now with the interview. I got it in the back. So I got in the back. You just.
Oh, you got rabbits? Okay, here we go. Go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
All right. So this is the lawyer. This is down the rabbit hole. I'll drop the thing. This is down the rabbit hole news.
First questions is like, how, let him tell it, you know. But
did you see she's up to like 93,000 subs?
I think she'll break 100.
Yes, I'm so proud of her. Last I seen, she only had like 60,000 subs. She has grown great.
Well, you really grow when you do a lot of different stories, man.
Yes, you do. And that's what I'm saying. Like today we did UpChurch stuff and somebody came in and they're like, you only have like 300 people in here. I said, that's okay. I'd rather have 300 solid motherfuckers in here talking to me about this stuff than going and, you know, dealing with fighting and fucking drama. And you know what I mean? If I wanted to chat with 1,300 people or 1,500 people, I could start shit right now if I wanted to.
Listen, I don't
want to be involved in that. I'd rather sit over here and fucking hang out with, you know what I'm saying, with my people and talk about shit over here.
I think people don't realize that, like, you know, people are interested in different stories and some people aren't, but you need to do different things. Because if you don't do different
I get fucking bored just talking about BJ all the goddamn time. My brain needs other shit. So
I couldn't stand, like, because she's just sleeping now. She's just playing other people's shit and sleeping behind the light.
Yeah, for the most part, that's all she does now. But did you see she fucking showed a picture of the baby that different than the one the grandma shared?
No. I didn't see a picture of
the fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I'm playing fucking games. I don't know what she's got going on. I didn't cover her stream, but apparently she put a picture of the baby or some baby up there and its eyes are like, I don't know. It's odd. So we'll talk about it later, but
yeah. All right. Let's play this one. Let's play what BJ's future is going to be. Like, we should ask Rabbit. Rabbit, will you do an interview with fucking the lawyer when they get the judgment on the fucking anti-slap? We'll play the lawyer.
Mr. Chris, I'm good. How are you? Mike here. Hi.
How's it going? How are you?
Good. How are you? My goodness.
Good. Thanks for having me.
So I gave you a little intro, right? And
Yes.
I mean, literally, I guess maybe one of my first questions is like, why this case? Why, what got you even here?
Well, it's interesting. It's obviously all this stuff happened in California. Kylie went missing in California. Most of the coverage was California. But Ryan Upchurch, 2,000 miles away from there, lives not far from me here in Nashville. And he was the one who was putting all of this disinformation out there. And if you want to sue someone, the best place to do that is where they live, because that's where their assets are, that's where their homes are. So when you get a judgment and you really want to collect it, you got to go to the place where the person lives. So that's how I got involved. David Robertson reached out to me and told me a little bit about the case. I had not heard anything about Kylie or the disappearance. I didn't know who Ryan Upchurch was, or had never heard of him, had no idea there's this guy in Ashland City with 3 million YouTube subscribers and this massive platform. I mean, it was all this whole, I didn't know what a YouTube live was before this case. So, look how far we've come, right?
Yeah, like a lot of people didn't know who the fuck Ryan was. Ryan came up here and acted like everyone would know who the fuck he is. No one knows. No one in the real world knows who the fuck you are.
On one now, I guess. So, that was basically how I got involved.
My goodness. So you just got a call, right? And it was like, hey, would you be interested in this case? And you're like, sure, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but sure, why not? And ultimately, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me just, the thing that appealed to me about it was I took one look at what he was, what David Robertson was describing. And I said, this sounds like the Alex Jones case. Sounds exactly.
David Robertson, yeah.
Exactly like Alex Jones. So that is why I said, I think there's something to investigate here. So.
Oh, who mentioned Alex Jones? Who was the person that was mentioning Alex Jones? Besides that commenter, who was the only one that had a brain cell in the comment section in Ryan Upchurch's fucking whole system, who gave him the greatest advice, like, you're going to be fucking Alex Jones. And he didn't listen to that guy. He just fucking completely ignored that guy. He ignored me. He ignored everyone else. And guess what? He got Alex Jones.
Oh, my God. That's interesting, right? And that was the opinion of Judge Campbell, by the way, when all of this was, when he was writing his opinion. That's interesting. So, okay, so then that was the introduction to you and all of this. You're in Tennessee. You didn't know who Ryan Upchurch was as well. Am I hearing this correctly?
Right. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then, I mean, what was your impression of the behavior? I mean, what did you think?
I mean, it was shocking. I couldn't tell, does he actually believe this stuff? Is this an act that he's putting on? Like, what is this genuine? That was a big issue actually in the case was, did he believe this stuff, or was it just, his opinion and his content changes based on where he is and who he's talking to? I think it's a little of both. I think that there was some, substance use involved, frankly, that, is also a big factor. But
absolutely.
We didn't know.
Oh, absolutely.
Until we got very deep in the case, what was his explanation for what he was saying and why he was saying it? And there's still not really a coherent answer about that, but we can talk more about it if you want.
For sure. I mean, definitely. Do you have a better understanding of social media, do you think now? Was this because your firm is like personal injury? When I was looking,
I believe it's Chris Smith.
A little bit into it.
Right.
So I was like, well, they're kind of very dedicated to this, but I don't know if this is like a different kind of case for you or what this was for you.
Well, definitely. I mean, I would call us more like a boutique type firm because we do, standard personal injury, but we do constitutional civil rights, medical malpractice. So this is a classic personal injury, defamation, and actually a larger piece of this was something called intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Yes.
So, those are things that we know how to handle, but no, the social media aspect of it was just taking that and applying it to a whole massive new scale that I had never seen before or understood. As an example, one of the things that I initially gravitated to in this case was when Ryan Upchurch says this crazy thing that, the family is not the family. They're actually related to this girl named Callie Ross. Do you remember that video?
Yes.
Callie Ross is a real person. And, she lived in that nearby in that area. She was a high school senior at the time, but people came after her and, what blew up her comment section and told her she was a liar. She's Kylie Rodney. Police came to her house like her life was impacted by this because of Upchurch's like crazy, bizarre comment that people, had that ramification all the way to her. And she actually testified at the trial and was a crucial witness for us. But the idea that the social media.
So imagine this: you're a fucking teenage kid, and then some crazy guy pulls your image and tells his audience that you are committing a crime and that you're part of this other case. And now you got weirdos called creepers. Now you got
Creek Squad, the crackheads coming after you.
Like, you're literally doxing kids. You're literally sending fucking weirdos after a girl that's under fucking 18 years old.
And then BJ had her up on the screen for hours. We got into a big ass fight. It was when we called her out that she stopped finally covering the Kylie Rodney case. She was stuck in that case like from the back, bro. She did not want to let that case go.
This is the lawyer for the family.
The mother begged her to stop fucking playing that shit, and she refused.
Yeah, and this is the lawyer that sued Ryan, that won. So this is, I think, Chris Smith. He's the one that actually fucking...
He represented the Rodney and Neiman, the dad and grandpa.
Yeah. So not only that, he was basically sending these weirdos to harass other people.
Media had this kind of impact. That was, that people could take this stuff seriously, I guess I could say. It was something I didn't really appreciate. And it was also something that was important for us to make the jury understand. Like, I know, like, we know this sounds crazy, but like people actually believed this stuff. And that was part of the harm here, So.
One of the disconnections that I have found, and, maybe even by my own experience, is that there is a huge disconnection between the court and social media. And even in explaining this to whether it's a jury or regular people that don't know what YouTube is. The reality is that during, the C-19 situation.
This is Kylie Rodney's family attorney.
Yes.
It's the Rodney Neiman family. Okay, that's what it is. Kylie Rodney is Rodney Neiman. The other last name is Neiman. So it's the Rodney and Neiman family that this lawyer covered Kylie's case, their family. So this is basically Kylie's family's lawyer right here who fought for Kylie's family in court against Ryan
for years.
With the deposition and all that. This is the attorney, Mr. Chris, who fought for Kylie Rodney's family to get justice and tried to explain to them what Ryan did and how he did it with his audience.
Yeah, and you have to give a lot of credit for him because he fought a guy who was a multi-millionaire who it's a pretty tough situation to explain this to a jury, to explain all this stuff. And I have to say, he did a very good job and did fantastic job. This guy gets all the credit in the world. Also for fighting against a multi-millionaire that thought he could just do anything he wanted to people and winning. So, I mean, you got to give this guy a lot of credit for taking this type of case, for fighting for his client, for doing the right thing. He's definitely...
Well, yeah, and as soon as he heard it, he said, this sounds like an Alex Jones. He knew immediately this is their granddaughter, and someone is really saying they're not real with a platform of 3 million people. What is going on?
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
LFT, thank you so much for dropping 5 of them on us. I appreciate that, baby. Thank you for showing love.
People to go online and find different levels of entertainment. So I think that there was a push for true crime specifically, right, as far as this goes. So I'm thinking in my mind, right, if you're unfamiliar, you're getting familiar with what happened to, Kylie and her family and the impact, and you're seeing all this. I mean, was there anything that stood out to you initially that was like, oh man, like this is something that we have to stop, or there's definitely a safety concern here as you are navigating with your clients?
Yeah, I mean, to take up that last part, safety concern, there is a question of like, how serious is this? Is this a threat? The family was concerned about that, and showed those videos to various, security people, law enforcement. Could it have ramifications offline? That was a similar aspect to the Alex Jones case, which was, people that believed Alex Jones' Sandy Hook, conspiracy theory went and harassed these families. They'd send them hateful emails, call them, just harass them while they were walking down the street. And so, there was some of that in terms of, David ran this Lost Trail Lodge that he actually built by hand, by the way. Amazing handy man, David is.
It's like a family lodge, right?
Yeah,
it's
like a family lodge.
Lodge, like a bunch of cabins. Kylie grew up there, spent a lot of her life there.
It, yeah. She grew up there. We showed it. We shared it. We shared the videos that her and her grandpa did together. We shared the videos of her singing with her grandpa.
Yeah. She had a really nice family.
Christmas photos. I shared photos with Ryan that the family had given me that no one else had seen to show him that she was real, and he still refused to fucking believe it. We fought him for what, an 11-hour live stream.
Oh, well, about 8 hours.
The live stream lasted, I think, 11 hours and 48 minutes. 5 hours of it was Ryan.
Yeah. It was that case.
So it was us talking about Ryan, the lost, like, Kylie, all that stuff,
Yeah, it was a sad situation because that girl was very talented and she had like a great future ahead of her. Just kind of like
she did.
Just like Dylan Rounds, like Sebastian Rogers, like these kids had really, hopefully Sebastian Rogers gets found, but you see these kids have a lot of great futures, and they're very unique. And it's sad when they're missing or deceased. It's very sad.
But that their Yelp reviews got flooded with crazy people accusing them of doing like child sacrifices and all this stuff. People that we could actually connect back to Upchurch, some of them, like the one that you did the videos on, whose name I don't like to say, but the guy with the knife is what we call him. So
the guy with the knife is the guy who says that we've been infiltrated, the true crime community. Queen showed him, the bald guy who doesn't want to change his fucking fire alarm at all.
J-Rod's dumbass.
Yeah. What's his name again?
J-Rod. He's a fucking idiot.
Remember I made a video of him talking to his teddy bear and it was going to hell, the teddy bear?
Yeah, and he had the knife walking around back and forth with it. He's like, the true crime community has been infiltrated. Remember we clipped it? We used it in our shit.
Yeah. I remember the weirdest thing was when he had the teddy bear and he was literally like imitating the teddy bear was him, and he was talking, and he was the devil himself talking to himself as the teddy bear. And he was just insulting himself the entire video. And I was like, whoa, this guy's fucking nuts. That was Ryan Upchurch's followers. They were talking to teddy bears thinking that he was the devil.
And the Spice Girls mask.
And the Spice Girls mask. Yeah,
but J-Rod, I heard, turned on him, which is kind of funny.
Took that video to the cops in Truckee, and they're like, is this a threat? And it's like, yeah, it could be, but like he probably can't afford the bus fare out here. So, so that's why they bought, security cameras and David testified at the trial that he pulled the numbers off of his mailbox. He didn't want people to, know where he lived. And so, I mean, those concerns are real for sure.
So it wasn't just like a parasocial, parasocial like fan base. This was a real.
We went hard for this family.
Your clients were receiving.
Yeah, we did. We even
got hard for any family we fucking help. We go hard for.
We were threatened to be sued at one point.
A couple good times.
Like people sit here and they don't quite realize like we do go hard. We do help out a lot of people. It's like
for real.
Actual threats,
right.
Actual harm from all of this.
Well, and one of the big ones, and so this is kind of interesting. I know you might ask about defamation, but one of the worst videos was when Upchurch uploaded a video of Dan's house, and he zooms in on Google Earth on his phone, and it gets like over 150,000 views. As it happens, it was uploaded on September 1st, which was Kylie's birthday, September 1st, and also it was the day she was cremated. So he's getting this video on this like worst day of his life, and he's absolutely in fear of his life.
Wow. I know I was pissed. My birthday was September 2nd. It was like I was the day after, and I was so fucking pissed off about that when oh my God.
Imagine your child it's her birthday, she's being cremated, and this piece of shit is doxing your house out and still lying about your kid that the kid's not real.
Saying she's not real as she's being cremated, and you're having to put your only baby to rest. Your only child, your only daughter. And we were a stupid piece of shit with 3 million subscribers saying she's not real, showing your family, showing your house, showing your lodge, showing her friends, doxing her friends, doxing the school. They fucking showed, they goddamn it live streamed the fucking graduation. Jagger's graduation. He wasn't even in town when this happened, and they accused him of murdering his girlfriend. It was fucking horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, and we were threatened by Upchurch to be sued, not the family. We were threatened by Upchurch.
Yeah. Yeah.
because, who knows who's going to come after him. So yeah, I mean, that was real. And the impact of that video was a huge emphasis at trial. So, and it's not strictly defamation. It's not like nothing in the video was false. I mean, really, it's just that it had this harassing effect that he was doing that. So that was part of the infliction of distress claim, which is kind of a big focus.
Right. And so the connection, I think, and people get lost in the sauce on this, right? It's just basically that tying into Ryan Upchurch to, things that he was saying, and then his fans, how they were acting and the things that they were doing. And I think that people online, because it does happen, people think that, well, it's just, are they really following through with the things that they're saying? So when we're seeing these videos and you're seeing the magnitude of kind of what, I mean, some of us, I saw that in real life. A lot of us did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had a different perspective, like that's not normal and it's not funny. Like this guy has 3.3 million people that follow him. Yeah. Who is going to threaten who, to pinpoint all of that. So you were able to tie a lot of these people to the actionable conduct.
Yeah. I mean, so the video, for example, we were just talking about the guy with the knife. Well, there's a video, and I think you've played it on one of your streams, where that guy is like hyping up Ryan Upchurch, and he says, I discovered Ryan Upchurch through the Kylie Rodney case, go listen to his music. And then we could connect it back the other way, which was Upchurch had posted on his Instagram a thumbnail of one of that guy's videos. So it's like that guy was hyping Upchurch hyping Upchurch up, and Upchurch was, kind of encouraging him on the back end. And
hear that, BJ? Dummy BJ? That could be used against you. When you hype up other people to do that to your defamation, your fucked up things, guess what? Maybe a lawyer is going to connect you to all those people. So you might want to stop doing that. Just a heads up.
He saw all that and saw like, this kind of feedback loop of how, Upchurch's posting about this garners him new attention, new eyeballs, and new rabid fans. So it's, there was something in it for him for sure,
Definitely.
Monetarily or just, the attention that did he like it? He testified some of these videos he made, just because he felt like it, which, maybe it may also be true. He just felt like it, on top of he was making money off of it. So
what people fail to see is that Kylie was a minor. All these other individuals that were in that party were minors as well, right? Like these are all minors. And so then you have the whole internet kind of like coming after them, posting pictures. I would have an issue with somebody posting pictures of my minor children, right? So I don't understand. Like when I was seeing this, I said, how come people aren't more outraged about the fact that these are kids that did not consent to be on the internet, but everybody's posting them?
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah. And there was another angle about it. I mean, he testified at the stand at trial, which we can talk about. I mean, that was the craziest day of my legal career, hands down. I don't think.
Wait, how long have you been practicing?
I've been practicing over.
We need the transcript. We need the transcript of fucking Ryan Upchurch on that motherfucking stand. We need someone that sounds like Ryan Upchurch, like fucking crazy. Who do we have that sounds like batshit crazy? Who has like a southern accent? Maybe I could do it. Maybe I could do 2 hours of my shitty southern accent. Be like, oh, I'm rich, y'all. And it wasn't you two. Just do that.
10 years, but I was a paralegal before that. So
Kylie Ryan, not real, y'all, because I didn't see her in person.
Nah, please don't. Nah.
But I'm saying like that's making fun of him. I'm saying that. I don't get
like not 2 hours of that. Nope.
I wouldn't do, but you know
you
what I mean.
Ain't doing me for that like that for 2 hours.
Okay.
My dad started this law firm. He was a
No, did you hear that he's going to say like the craziest thing was his like crossing him in the stand? And I'm like,
no shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, we need the transcript. And who would do the reading of the transcript? That's what I was saying. I'm like, who was going to do the crazy southern fucking voice?
Well, I have his deposition on Rumble.
But no, but I'm saying like he was crossed during the trial, and it was even worse.
Oh shit.
He's going to talk about it.
Worse.
He says his father thought it was the worst word ever. Listen.
Professor. So, I mean, I've been around it. I asked him, he was in the courtroom. I was like, have you ever seen anything like that? He's been a lawyer like 50 years. Like, no, never.
What did he do? You got to tell us.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, there's two things, not to be too long-winded about this, but when I took his deposition, which he posted on YouTube.
That was interesting. I was like, he just did that. My goodness.
Yeah, but when I did that, I didn't know what he was going to say. He had never given a deposition before. I'm going in there. I'm like, this could go a million different ways. What is he going to say? And he doubles down. Like, I still don't think she's real. Okay. despite the fact that you've literally met Dan Rodney and David Robertson in person, he still was saying that. Well, at the trial, his lawyer was very respectful. His lawyers were, respectful to Dan and David, offering condolences, and their apologies for the loss of Kylie. And I'm thinking there's a chance this guy's going to get up here and finally admit it. He's going to say that she was real. He's going to say he's sorry. And he took the stand and he just went full into, I still don't think this person's real. And, his conspiracies about fake cops, and there's fake cops in Nashville. And I think that was a huge moment in the trial because the jury, I think, was completely shell-shocked by that. I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked to them, but I'm just guessing from the result, that they did not like that. And that was a crazy moment when he came to court after all the proof we had put in that Kylie was real, and he still said he didn't think she was real. I'm
ready for that transcript.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm ready for that transcript. One, Michelle, thank you for dropping 10 memberships on us, baby. If you guys got one, please tell her thank you. And yes, Gonzo Grove, yes, he posted it. We downloaded it, and we have it. I have it uploaded, so we can go back and watch it anytime.
And I knew he was going to lose. As soon as I seen that deposition, I'm like, brother, you're going to lose. Like, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. But, can you believe this fucking idiot, Ryan?
Well, the thing is, I don't know if you remember, but Ryan came out and he had just had court. He did a video and said that he had just had court and he paid over $1 million.
Yeah.
And the lawyer wants him to apologize and make a statement to the family.
Yeah.
And pay them $1 million. Do you remember when he said that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, before
he said, I'm not paying them $1 million because she isn't fucking real.
Yeah.
Now, if he would have stopped at that point and said, you know what? I really fucked up. She is real. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. I should have never done this crazy work. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you the $1 million. I'm sorry. He already had donated $100,000 in a Hellcat to AWP. Why donate that much money in a Hellcat if she's not real when they just went out and found this girl and told you they found her?
Well, I would have probably told him to do that and then put himself in a facility for the press thing. Be like, you know what? My mental state was bad. I fucked up, blah, 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 and come back. And
I mean, anything to save 17 milli. Fuck. Damn, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
I don't think. I mean, I'd be apologizing all over myself. I don't give a goddamn.
Yeah, he'd be like, I'm sorry. But I think he was just very arrogant. He thought that his fame and money could protect him, and he could just do whatever the fuck he wants because that's a child mentality where you sit there and you think that you could just get, you got your way all your life. You got famous very young. You got the dream very young. Yeah. And then you thought that you could just get away with everything. And then reality smacks you across the face and says, listen here, buddy, you can't do everything you fucking want. Okay. You might be big shit in your little fucking town, but this is the real world, motherfucker.
Right.
The real world where you know what I mean? And
he was way too hard headed and he was all fucked up when his mom came out and said he was all fucked up and that he was fucking throwing shit around and breaking shit and acting a fool and no.
The problem is that they're going to go after his catalog. These people are going to go after his catalog. They're going to go after everything. So I don't know if he's diminished in fame. No one, a lot of people he had before are gone. So I don't know what he's going to do.
I am so ready for that transcript to hear that part. So he was still denying the existence of Kylie and her grandfather and her father. Am I hearing this correctly?
Yeah, it was like, oh, well, yeah, obviously they're real people over there, but I don't really know, if they're who they say they are or, the moment was my first question for him. And there's a video that I think you may have seen before, but it's from way back in the day when he's on a live in 2022. And this guy says to him, hey, are you at all concerned about if you're wrong, what happened to Alex Jones? Are you concerned about that?
He was in a live stream. I remember the channel actually.
I played that at the top of his cross. This is the first video. And because he says at the end of it, I'm not, because if I'm wrong, all you got to do is show a birth certificate and then you're done. So I handed him a certified copy of Kylie's birth certificate. I said, are we done?
Right.
And it was like, I was halfway hoping he would just say, okay, yeah, and he tried to spar with me. He tried to say it.
Guess what? Look at this part. What he says
that like the birth certificate had like this error on it because the boxes weren't checked the right way,
Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. Are you kidding me?
No, oh my. So he's handed the birth certificate and he's like, that's a fake birth certificate. It's fake. What a fucking idiot.
Hey, here comes the cross exam for another half hour or whatever it was. But yeah, he was absolutely denying it. And it was just, it was an interesting choice. I don't know.
So even with the birth certificate, which is crazy because that's what everybody online was looking for, right? Show us the birth certificate. I mean, he went from the birth certificate to show me a picture of her standing in her car or something to that effect. Like nothing.
I wanted to say something about that one too, because
can you believe this dumb motherfucker who basically decided he's handed a fucking birth certificate and he decides that's not enough because it's not checked off here. Are we like, is this for real? Is this for real?
No, like you can't. No.
Like, that's crazy. That is crazy. And he's arguing with the attorney about if the birth certificate is real on the
let's be real. His dumb fucking ass went off like an idiot at the hospital with his daughter's birth certificate, trying to tell them that the shit wasn't right and it wasn't real.
Oh my God.
Don't you remember when he was fucking going off?
Right.
And then he went off in court when he got the OR on his fucking girlfriend.
But like, that's crazy. But you would think that you would have a brain.
Fucking idiot, man. He's like a conspiracy theorist or something. He's weird. I don't know.
But you would think you would have the common sense to say to yourself, this does not look good in front of the jury that I'm arguing that this little girl is not real when their birth certificate certified is being handed in front of me and her father, and grandfather is over there. Like, that's just crazy.
I don't know. I'm not a teenager anymore, but this idea that everyone has a picture of themselves next to their car, I'm like, I don't think that's a real thing. I don't know. Like, I don't have any pictures of me next to my car. But also, Kylie grew up in, backcountry Truckee. I don't think they had internet service at that lodge until recently. Certainly didn't have high-speed dial-up. She had no social media, which I have kids. Like I hope my kids don't have social media, right? Wouldn't that be good if they're not on social media by the time they're this whole idea that she must not be real because she doesn't have social media and she has no pictures.
And what kid doesn't have social media? I hear you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was the angle, but it's like, well, maybe this kid who grew up in this area, why would that be weird based on where she was? So.
Oh no, Chris, I would have been like, am I real? Am I a real person here on trial? And by the way, Mr. Robertson is in the chat. Thank you so much for Mr. Robertson joining. Shout out to Mr. Robertson.
Does he have any questions? Hi, David.
Mr. Robertson, if you have any questions or if you want to join us in a little while, that's completely up to you.
Or you want me to mention a detail from the trial?
Yes, please do.
But that was just utterly a wild day,
Oh my God. I mean, that's what am I a real person? Is the judge real?
To your question about that, I did. I said that. Is this real? Is this a farce? Who do you think is that? Is this a judge wearing is this an actor? How far does this conspiracy go? But
did he answer?
I don't recall what his answer was because I'm trying to go through my set questions, but yeah, it didn't land for him. Whatever. The idea that what are you going to convince the jury she's not? I don't understand. Maybe the idea was it's a genuine belief. I genuinely believe she's not real. But the problem with that was he'd been on both sides of the issue. I mean, he'd offered the Hellcat. Why would you do that if you don't think she's real? He'd accused Anastasia Mainich of having something to do with her appearance. Why would you do that if she wasn't real?
The public information officer. So that exhibit, right, that we showed where you have Placer County messaging him and and it's very rare for them to even, I'm just saying in general, when we've had missing persons people, cases, to have direct communication while this is international news, because they don't have time to be answering everybody. They actually responded to him and they were communicating with them about the things that he was doing.
Well, I would say they warned him. Is what I would say
they warned him.
They warned him to stop spreading misinformation because he was literally targeting innocent people. That's their phrase. Innocent people could get targeted. And that was 10 days later, 10 days before. And then again, they said, hey, take this post down. That's not our PIO. That's not our public information officer. And at trial, it was what did you do in response to that? Did you call them and say, wait a minute, I'm confused about... No, what he did was he made the first video where he starts the conspiracy that Kylie is not real. it's part of this conspiracy that the sheriff's department is also not real, because that's his reaction.
I remember that, because that was crazy. This guy literally Google mapped, and I think he looked at like the side precinct, and he was like counting the motherfucking cars and saying that the precinct wasn't real and this lady wasn't real, and there was people that believed him. And imagine, guys, me and Queen, Cappy, and a few others are sitting here having to debunk this stupidity. We had to waste hours of our lives to explain to full-grown adults that this theory was stupid. And there was true crime channels like BJ that believed it because she's a dummy. Zav Girl. Like, we were literally like fucking the small channels sitting in the background screaming, this is crazy. Who the hell is believing this? And you got big channels like Zav Girl and all these other channels entertaining this crap. I wondered, I sat there, I was like, am I in Bizarro land? Like, do I just need a social media and I could just convince people of almost anything? Can I just convince them of anything? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. Rowena with 5 says, can we get the transcripts? I'll pitch in. Oh, we're going to get the transcripts. Wow, 3 years. Time flies. Thanks, Queen Bee, for all the kindness and the great. Oh, it's a good one to hear from you, Grey One, and the great community you have built. I have a blessed weekend. Hugs if you need them. Thank you. It's good to hear from you, Grey One. He said they were all actors. Yeah, they were all actors. It's crazy. And I actually talked to him on panel. I'm like, do you realize that your conspiracy would need like 300 to 500 people or something like that? How are they going to split a $60,000 GoFundMe for that?
To the Instagram message. So that was a crucial exhibit to show, you're being warned by the cops and you're so reckless that you're disregarding everything, so that was a big one.
Wow. Okay. So, let me go back, because I would like to think, and I'm wrong for thinking this, but I would like to think that Ryan Upchurch is a person here online. Like, it's a character, right? And he's skilled in marketing and SEO. He understands what sells and what doesn't, because at least that's what I gathered, that he does things for the shock value, right? No different than a Howard Stern or whatever, right? If you were to think about it, So there was never a moment where he dropped that. Like, this is who he is here. He carried that through the trial. Am I correct to say that?
Well, who he is here. So what was interesting is that his deposition, a big exhibit was he's on Zav Girl live when AWP finds the car.
Oh, the prayer?
The prayer. He says a prayer. And it's like, okay, obviously you thought she was real on this day because you said.
Look at WNC Granny. She says, that handsome man can be my attorney any day. Okay, ladies, calm down, ladies, calm down. I'm sure a lot of ladies are thinking that.
Said a prayer, right? And then again, he on his own channel the next day, he starts a video. It's something like, before we start this video, I just want to offer my prayers to Kylie's mom, Kylie's family. It's like these two exhibits kind of show that you must have thought she was real, right? Well, in his deposition, he says, well, I was just kind of put on the spot, and I'm just doing content based on that community, and that's true crime. And so I'm like playing to the audience a little bit. I'm just trying to be nice. And so I was like, oh, so this is like an act. And his testimony in his deposition was, well, it's a personality. It's a YouTube personality. Mm-hmm. So then I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So like when you go on this kind of more sophisticated, I guess you could say, than his channel, like true crime lives where people are, dealing with competing theories, I guess you could say. He has a
You mean bullshit, when they're dealing with a bunch of competing bullshit, because that was the only thing that was happening on Zav Girl. This was Zav Girl's. What do you guys think? That was her old channel. She was just like, guys, I'm going to dox these bunch of children, and I'm going to put their images and license plates on there on the screen, and you guys tell me what to think, guys. Y'all, what do you guys think? And then she would have a bunch of bumbling morons who would jump on her chat, including Ryan, that would have no clue what the hell they were talking about. And pretty much that was pretty much it. And she would just play old videos and videos from other people, and she would be like an idiot, doxing out other people.
Certain way of speaking. Then on his own channel, it's different. And then it's different, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's different based on what the audience is, what the content is. And so he testified in his direct exam that, he's always the same person. You know, it's just he's a consistent thing. But he testified the opposite way at his deposition, you know, that there's a personality. So that's
so what he's basically stating is that the video where he's claiming that like she's not real, and then there's this Av girl situation, the video live stream where he basically did a prayer for Kylie Ronnie being deceased, is bad, because that shows that which one are you lying about, sir? Do you genuinely believe this girl is not real, or are you just lying for views? And that's not good for a defamation case, ladies and gentlemen. That shows malicious intent. That's not good. That usually means you're in big, big trouble. It's a pretty crucial piece of evidence, and he screwed himself completely and utterly. And it shows also his character, you know, that basically either he knows the little girl, this young lady, is real and has died, and is willing to spread a conspiracy theory and a lie to make views and make everyone else suffer, accuse innocent people of being murderers and sex traffickers, accuse the family that just lost their daughter and granddaughter of, you know, basically faking her existence so they can get GoFundMe money, ruin their business by having his idiot followers come there, and proceed to harass random people he grabbed photos of. He even harassed Burden of Proof, which is a YouTuber, accused her, accused Anime, accused Ikamel, also that he can get more views and doesn't care anything about these people as long as he's monetized and making money. Or he basically, he's such a coward that he bent when he truly believed this little girl wasn't real. He bent because he was worried about audience pressure. And he had to like lie that she was real according to his fucking thought process. These two things are not good. If you go into a moral thought process here, a moral thought. And it just shows you that Ryan is a piece of crap, garbage human being honestly, let's hope that he gets a tent right next to Shani and Rev, and he lives next to them in Pennsylvania. And maybe he can write some songs for them, and maybe they can dual stream or something. Because that's where that trash deserves to be. He deserves to be in the fucking trash bag next to fucking Shani and Rev. Nasty person who accused and try to ruin the lives of innocent people just so he can get views and money. And I don't give a fuck if he's homeless. Fuck that guy. Fuck everything about him. And you know what? If there's a hell, he's going down there, burning in the fucking fiery pits of hell. And you know what? My wish is I want a fucking seat, a front row seat to watch you burn, Ryan, because you're a nasty motherfucker.
kind of what I think it is. It just depends on who he's talking to, based on how he's what he's going to say.
Okay, so it's almost like
that's just my opinion.
I have to wonder, because even the people that like have these YouTube personalities, right? Like, and there are out there, because they're much bigger creators. They got to keep up, whatever it may be. I think of like the family vloggers, for example, that they don't always turn things off because they have to keep that up. So I had to kind of wonder, so is this guy always like this? Like, are you always projecting your theories? Is there a time where you didn't believe this? Which I think is a great example of what you said, where the prayer. And I thought that was like, yeah, he did a prayer. He led the prayer, right? And a lot of these creators, because they were so fixated by the fan base that he had, and that means more money, more subscribers and stuff like that. I don't know. I just had to wonder, did he ever turn that off at any point in the trial?
No. I think it was, I mean, the general approach of the defense was just, I still believe this, but also I should be able to say whatever I want on the internet. So like, it doesn't really matter what I say. The First Amendment should protect anything I want to say, regardless of whether it's true, regardless of whether it hurts the family, regardless of whether it's, just a bunch of disinformation and, profanity. And so that was the argument that was put on, that, this, a verdict for the family would destroy everyone's free speech, which is just not true, at all. And
a verdict for the family is a fight for the little guy. Okay. This is a rich guy who thought he could lie about everyone so he could profit from people's pain and suffering. If he would have gotten a verdict, he would have continued doing exactly what he was doing, which was lie about people, defame people, try to ruin their lives so he could get a few extra $1,000 so he can live in his fantasy world in the backwoods of wherever the fuck he is from and decide to just like make more money. He was a nasty guy with what he did, And what was really bad about it is he showed no sorrow about it. He was not sorry at all. He tried to ruin Ikamel's life. He tried to ruin all these people's lives for money, and he was monetized the whole time. And all these other channels that kissed up to him, you're all Judases. You all fucking took your 30 pieces of silver and you decided to just throw all these innocent people away so you can build your channel and make a bunch of money. You hear that, BJ? You took your 30 pieces of silver. Explain that to God when you meet him in the afterlife, when you go there when you're 100 years old and you meet your Savior and you tell him that you took your 30 pieces of silver. You basically used a missing child in an injunction case for YouTube drama. And then you also, before that, fucking helped harass a family and lied about a little girl that died so that you can buy some computer games for your kids and yourself. Nasty people. You're all nasty. Zav, you're nasty. All you motherfuckers are nasty.
You know, the big thing was First Amendment doesn't protect false statements of fact. And, you know, if you like speculation about Kylie Rodney, you know, what happened, foul play or accident, like, you know, there's a lot of free speech there that can be had and a discussion. But when you start saying that the family is fake, that it's a scam, like those are just false statements of fact, and they absolutely, you know, cause harm. And so that's
a lot centered on this GoFundMe, though, right?
Right.
Because there was questions about, well, when did they start the GoFundMe? Was it even needed for? And I don't know why someone who, in my opinion, at least that's what he showed, that he has access to all kinds of resources. He's able to give out a car, $100,000 to another YouTube channel, right? I didn't quite understand the whole why was that an important point for him to drive, even now?
The GoFundMe, you mean?
Yeah, like for him to have said this is a scam, like.
Well, I mean, there was a GoFundMe that was set up. The beneficiary was Kylie's mom, but the way it was worded was support for the family of Kylie Rodney. It had changed titles, but when he starts talking about it, that's what it's called: support for the family of Kylie Rodney. So when he says it's all a scam to raise money on GoFundMe, look at the Kylie Rodney GoFundMe. Our point was, you're basically just saying that the family, like, you know, in the title of that GoFundMe, is running a scam off of Kylie's death. That's a terrible lie. It's defamation. You know, their only real defense to that was, well, the mom was technically the beneficiary, not David, not Daniel. But we're like, see where it says the family? That's enough under California law, and it was. So that's why that was so important. But, you know, he also had the whole Callie Ross thing, which was, this is a little bit, you know, legal technical, but it's not just that he said David is not real, Daniel is not real. He said they're actually, you know, Callie Ross's dad. They're actually these other people. Yes. So it's like an identity crime, right? They're imposters, they're actors, they're pretending to be someone they're not, and they're you know, Kylie Rodney is made up. She's actually this girl named Callie who's alive, which we talked about. So that was another big defamatory statement. But I do just want to emphasize, like, the defamation was 4 statements. Okay, they were all made in 2022, and that was the extent of that claim. The much larger claim was he kept doing this and kept making videos and monetizing those videos and selling tickets on those videos after he got a cease and desist, after the lawsuit had been filed.
So imagine this: your kid is deceased, and this piece of shit decides to not only lie about your child, say they're not real, lie about you, say you're committing crimes, but then on the bottom of his video, he's trying to sell tickets for his fucking his music. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's why he even got involved in it. That's what they said, because he was dropping an album, and we called him out on it. He said that's not true, but yeah, it was.
It was because you dropped the album.
There's actually an article on him that he did where he said he comes out and, you know, clickbait and, you know, argues and fights with people to sell his tickets and music to make it hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a way to sell more tickets.
Nasty. Yeah, like BHB. BHB better be careful. Everything they explained to her, she could be sued for easily by Chris Crawford. It would be open shut case. She would be absolutely fucked. Actually, worse than Ryan.
You know, as recently as 6 months ago, he's got a video calling Kylie insults, you know, an effing B, I think is what he called her. And then he made a video the week before trial saying he still doesn't think she's real. You know, so it was more about, like, this guy will not stop without a verdict. Yeah. Which is why I think we got the result that we did.
the punitive damages, I think, was a message in itself. Like, I was like, oh, Lord have mercy. They really
Right.
put the hammer down. And I think that that's where people are caught up. Well, why was it this much? And I'm like, well, did you guys watch the same thing that we all watch? Are you kidding me? You can't incarcerate this guy for his opinion. Well, let me add a couple zeros, right? Like, what do you
that's
mean?
sort of right. You know, we put into evidence that evidence of view count. I think we had a chart showing like 7.5 million views, but that was as of 2023. So I mean, those numbers went up, you know, and he made new videos and Instagram videos and all this. So we truly don't know what the view count is. But we didn't ask for a number. We didn't say, you know, award us X dollars. We just said, you know, use your best judgment based on the evidence, and that's what they came up with. So I don't know how they wrote
it. They wrote it. The jury wrote the numbers, guys. I don't know if you guys know that.
Right.
So if you read the lawsuit, there was no actual amount.
You know that Jerry hated that guy. I mean, I have to imagine that Jerry hated him.
The jury picked $17 million.
Yeah, they wrote the number. He didn't ask for it. They wrote the number.
Oh my God! And who did the punitive damages?
The jury.
Oh my fucking God!
They wrote the numbers. It was handwritten.
Wow. Did you see the picture he took outside the fucking courthouse when he was done?
I saw it. He thought he was gonna win too.
Oh yeah, he thought he was cooking, man. He thought he had fucking done great.
He thought he outside. That's the problem when you live in Delulu land. You think you're actually winning, and no one tells you. The problem is when you get enough money, you get a bunch of yes men that tell you, "Yeah, you're doing great, man. You're doing wonderful," and no one tells you when you have no clothes and when you sound like a crazy person. That's the problem. No one told him. They didn't have
I think plenty of people told him. He just didn't give a fuck.
He kicked them and accused them of crimes or fucking threatened them. Usually, you know,
right?
Usually, what he does, you know.
Now that's more like it.
Yeah, like you know, like you tell him, "Hey, this is a bad idea." Next moment, you're being accused of a crime, and he's threatening to beat you up or something.
Yeah, this is his fresh out of court photo, and he thinks he is fucking hot shit, Jack.
Oh my God.
That's right before the 17.5 milli judgment came down. This is right before that.
Oh my God. Winner.
Winner of a $17.5 million judgment. Shit. Gosh dang, baby. He fucked himself hard.
All right, we got more of the interview. All right.
I would say are you going to bed? You want me to take over? You got it. You good?
I got it. I'll be up for a little bit more. I need to stay
done,
up for
when
this.
you're tired, you let me know, okay?
I need to stay up for this. I need the suffering of Ryan Upchurch is fueling me. It's like an energy drink. If we could get him to cry, I might be able to stay up all night. I don't know. His suffering makes me happy. It brings joy to me when I hear Ryan Upchurch suffer. Actually, it's great. Actually,
so this number of, and by the way, I mean, I was telling a couple of my YouTube peers, I said, you know, it hit me one day. And you got in history, YouTube history, it was the highest awarded damages.
Oh, okay.
I said, Lord have mercy. I don't know if you know this, because I was like, wait a minute, because I did follow the Tasha K and Cardi B lawsuit, and I said, wait, that was like 4 million, something along the line.
I've seen some default judgments, which is basically like the other side doesn't fight it, and then you get a judgment as a matter of law. I'm not aware of jury verdicts like that. This one went all the way to a jury. But you know, that wouldn't surprise me, just because the conduct was so outrageous, and that was the way we tried the case. Was like the standard for intentional infliction of emotional distress is the jury is asked, is this tolerable in a civilized community?
That's what Betty sued me for. So this is an actual case of defamation, and this is infliction of emotional distress. Betty tried to sue me for the same thing, which is why hers was dismissed
multiple times. Because she's a fucking idiot.
And we just said, you know, your verdict has to say it's not, right? That this is not tolerable. This kind of lying and targeting this family relentlessly over all these years. It's not tolerable in
Oh, we
civilized
got
society.
somebody back here. Hold on a second.
All right, who we got back here?
I'm not even sure. I'm not sure. Powdered something.
Powdered. Okay.
What's up? How are you, man?
What's going on? Good. Powder Dusty. I've been here once or twice a long time ago.
Oh, okay. What's happening?
May I ask a few questions?
Yeah, for sure.
Depends.
Okay, so I'm just catching up to this. I was not aware of this case the whole time it was going on. I just saw the lawsuit thing.
With
a few days
Upchurch and okay, the Rodney.
Right.
Gotcha.
Are the parents divorced?
Yeah.
Okay, so why?
Mom had the GoFundMe in her name. Dad and Grandpa did the lawsuit in their name.
Do you know why it was that way?
I think Mom didn't want to be in the lawsuit.
Yeah.
I was looking at the paperwork from the lawsuit or from the settlement, and Grandpa got awarded more money than Dad. Do you know anything about that? Why?
I think Grandpa's the one who initiated the lawsuit, and he is the one who was compared to the other Kaylee's grandpa, the other grandpa.
Yeah, he was being accused of committing a crime.
Right,
basically.
and he was accused of committing a crime as well, yeah.
Yeah, like identity theft and stuff like that. Like if
Well,
I said
father just sued for emotional distress where he showed his business and he showed his house and said his daughter wasn't real.
Okay. Did they get I heard they got doxxed. Did they?
Well, yeah, like they got doxxed the fuck out of. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember why Ryan actually not only went for the house, but actually showed the car in front of his house and everything.
Well, and you know what? Didn't they say part of the map? I got the video. You want to see the exhibit from the lawsuit?
Yeah.
I got it. Here, hold on a second. I'll pop it up real quick for you. Yeah, there's an exhibit where it actually shows he actually did the map. The map.
Yeah, but you got to be careful with that because it might show his house. So I don't know if you want to.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I guess you're right. I can't show that again. I don't want to because it's straight to his house. Yeah, you know what? You're right because it's the exhibit from court and it's where Ryan put his house right on the live.
Yeah.
So yeah, I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I guess I shouldn't do that.
No problem.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry. I thought, you know what, let me just show you the exhibit. But yeah, I probably shouldn't do that again. I wasn't even thinking. So I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that.
No problem.
But yeah, he zooms right into his house. Like, you know how you type in somebody's address on the map and it does like, it goes around in a circle or whatever and then takes you straight to their house like a dot. Then you can zoom in on it.
Yeah.
That's what he does. And zooms all the way in.
And he did that on the day that this little girl was his birthday and she was being cremated.
I've watched about a third of the deposition. It's pretty long. Does he ever give any reason, or does it seem like he was dodging around the questions about did he believe himself or not?
He was attempting in the deposition to basically say that it was like an act. Mm-hmm. At one point, that was what he was trying to do. But then he actually, during the trial, if you listened a little earlier, stated that it was like straight up he didn't believe this little girl existed, even though he was shown a birth certificate. And then he proceeded to say that birth certificate wasn't authentic or real to the lawyer.
Oh, they showed him a birth certificate.
Yep, they showed him in the trial.
Yeah, the attorney told him. He said, I actually, he told me as soon as I bring out a birth certificate, he'll stop the bullshit. He'll stop. And he did. He said as soon as I brought it out and showed him, he did not care.
He did not care. He was trying to say this was checked off here or whatnot, and he didn't believe the birth certificate, and he didn't believe that Kylie Rodner was real.
Has he done this with other cases?
I haven't heard any cases he did this. I mean, like I heard he was somewhat involved with Summer Wells, but I don't know what he did. It's so long ago, and I wasn't involved with Summer Wells. Maybe someone who was.
Well, he went on a podcast and accused the parents of murdering their daughter, but Candace and Don are not in a situation that the Rodney Neiman family are in. So
yeah, they don't have the money.
They really did. You know what I'm saying? Take it as serious as the Rodney family did.
Yeah.
That's really pretty much.
And I don't know if anyone can. I'm trying to make Upchurch's behavior make sense. Is there any way to do that?
I think it's either two things. He's doing it for money, and he doesn't care if he destroys people's lives so he can make money because he's an evil prick. Or
I think he was on dirt. I mean, I'm not going to say, you know what I'm saying, so stunned. I do think, in my opinion, he was on dope or what Adderall. What, you know what I'm saying? I think he was.
He seemed a little tweaky.
Yeah, I think he was doing shit he shouldn't have been doing. He was up for days. He had friends that were doing shit they shouldn't have been doing too. You know what I mean? Influences and shit that, you know what I mean? Also, he had a bunch of friends that were like, check out what I found. Look what I found on Xana May. Look at this. Check this out. And, you know, he would act so just like he had so much information, like breaking information and shit. Like his buddies and stuff would come up with weird ass fucking shit. And like, there was another guy, Aikenmel. He's a streamer on here. You know him?
I know who he is.
Yeah. So he got a settlement from Ryan. Ryan had to settle with him. He didn't have to, I guess. He could have took it to trial, but he didn't. He settled with him. Because he said Aikenmel was selling kids. Like, he tried to take his name. You laugh. It's not really funny, but he tried to take his name.
I'm sure it wasn't funny for Aikenmel, but that's...
Yeah,
the problem was that his kid was getting threatened on the live stream on those because they were like actually threatening to come to his house and kill him.
So it got to the point where it wasn't just about the internet anymore. They took that shit way too far, as they do.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the dollar amount?
I think they should have hit him for more.
What's he worth?
I think he's worth. They say the problem is like his catalog could be worth a little bit of money, but I think they say 4 to 8 million with the catalog.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he has the juice really, but he might have the juice eventually. The lawyer basically, I mean, he has $500,000 worth of Pokemon cards. They could take that from him.
Anybody who has their wealth counted in Pokemon cards doesn't have $17.5 million.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, Logan Paul did sell that Pikachu for $17 million, so he had it. He had the juice, so he can always sell his Pikachu. But yeah, he basically, he's gonna have a tough time. I think the lawyer said on this, because I asked questions during this. He said he's probably going to put go after the catalog, put a lien on the proceeds on that. Liens on houses are already been done. There's a bunch of liens on his houses. Mm-hmm. There's going to be liens. If he needs to appeal it, I think he needs to he answers this question in this one later on, but you have to put up 10%. So he's going to have to put up $1.7.5 million to appeal. If he doesn't put that money up, then he can't appeal. He can't attempt an appeal. Because he needs 10%. So he's got a long battle.
What do you think about it?
I'm having trouble feeling. So I don't feel bad for him. I think the guys, from everything I can tell, the dude was reckless and a douche. I can't imagine having 3.25 million subs and just being so reckless with how you use that, right? I suppose the other side of that though is I do YouTube, you do YouTube, and part of me just the idea of getting hammered for that much money. I don't know. I think probably he deserves it mostly, but there's a little part of me that out of self-interest is sort of like,
Yeah, well, Rowena sent 20, and she said the family offered to drop it if Ryan paid $200K and an apology, and I think the apology part stopped him from accepting.
Moron much.
Yeah, he was
$17 million ego.
Yeah, he was also offered before even the trial started, a little bit before the trial started, he was offered that if he would have said an apology and paid $1 million, which I think would be the attorney fees, because when you have 3 years of litigation and you're doing depositions of all these people, it's gonna add up a lot. So, and he still didn't take that deal. Because he thought he was going to win it. He thought he would just say free speech, my opinion. I can get away with that, saying whatever I want, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
So, I just think of Ryan as an individual that had too much power and thought he can get away with defaming everyone. I mean, he told me I'll give you an example. There was a girl, Burner Proof. She was lied about by Ryan. He tried to claim that she was part of a sex trafficker, and she was his other girl. And she tried to tell him, I'm not this person. I don't even have the same voice. I don't know who you're talking about. I even show my image of my picture. And he said, sue me then. That's what he said to this woman. And he said that because she had no money to sue him. So that's what he thought. He thought that you could just defame people because he had the money and he would 100% just basically, you're too poor to sue me. I'm rich, you're poor. I can say whatever the fuck I want about you and ruin your life, and you'll just deal with it. That's what it is. So fuck that guy.
Do you think it sets a bad precedent? I mean, as far as the precedent sets for YouTube, or do you think it sets a good one?
Well, I mean, the precedent it set was that one of the rulings earlier was that, because this was an argument, they tried to make them into public figures or limited public figures, the family, because of a true crime situation happened. And the judge ruled against it and made them private because the ruling stated that you could not be considered a public or a limited public figure because of your family member was involved in a crime and they talked about you in the news, basically. Mm-hmm. And that was a big deal because it changes the negligence parts to it instead of like with malice, basically. But does it set a precedent? Yeah, it sets a precedent that a rich fuck can't just decide to harass a family so that he can make money and sell tickets. I mean, that's pretty much it. The guy was basically, people do that every day. They make money from the suffering of families that have to deal with the death of a family member. Like, do you have a kid or something like that, or a family member? Like,
I do. Like, yeah, my daughter just is about to turn 16.
And I know it's a personal question. I'm sorry. I asked about
no, it's fine. I'm pretty open about it. So I do have a daughter who is like basically exactly Kylie's age. So yeah, I can certainly empathize with the family.
Imagine if like he did that to you, like your daughter in a situation. I mean, and then he decides not only do you have to deal with that, but he keeps on going and going and going and going at your businesses and going at your family members and accusing you of crimes and accusing your daughter doesn't exist over and over and doesn't stop, even after a year after your daughter has died.
Mm.
And all you want him to do is stop and apologize and admit that he was wrong. And he doesn't do that. He doubles down.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean? At a certain personally, me, if that was me, I might not, I won't say what I would do on YouTube. Let's just say that much. So
as your fake attorney, I advise you not.
Yeah, I'll advise you not. Because I definitely would not be, and there's a lot of people that would not want to, would not be taking it like the fan. I think so. When some people say 17.5 million is too much, no, I think it's too little. I think he should suffer more. I think they should have hit him for 40 million, to be honest with you. I don't want him to ever recover so he can victimize another family again and use his power and wealth to victimize another family.
Now, did anything happen to the families that he could possibly be held criminally liable for? Were they attacked or vandalized or nothing like that?
No, unfortunately, it's when it comes to things like what he did, it's all civil. You can't really go after him criminally or anything like that. I mean, he was spreading a lot of false information, even though the cops basically told him, "Can you stop lying? Because you're getting into a lot of people." Like there was earlier in this interview, there was the girl that they were accusing was Kylie Rodney, but another girl. She was under the age of 18, and people were harassing her. She had to testify. So minors who had nothing to do with the case were being harassed because Ryan Upchurch showed their face and their TikTok, and they looked for her and they went after her.
Yeah, Xana May was harassed, and she had brought over her cousin from Ukraine. They had a lot of trouble dealing with Ryan's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have the money to go after him, nor did she even know anything about that. She had actually just was, following the case like everybody else, got on her kayak with her dog and went out there, and holy hell, she definitely paid for it. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah.
Another question more about this search. How is it that 17 agencies missed the car that was 15 feet off the shore?
He explains it.
To be honest.
Yeah, he explains it a little bit during this interview. I think it had to do with the current, certain the water levels go up and whatnot.
You could tell the police department was super embarrassed.
Yeah,
they were embarrassed as fuck.
I mean, they did a lot of.
He said we're gonna have to do a little more training, and because they asked the same question of them.
I think personally, I don't think AWP, in my opinion, I don't think AWP found them without the help of SF, because I think SF's drone somehow picked it up from above the water. That's what I think. And I think they saw it from the drone footage and went to the location. That's what I think, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion on that one. But I think though they messed up a lot of things. Like when they removed the car from the water, they didn't seal it when they pulled it out of the water. That's a mess up. And that's how all the stuff spilled out of it. And that's how Checkered TV got the laptop and all that stuff that spilled out of the car. So there's a lot of amateur hour stuff being done, the search, you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
which often happens with true crime cases that get big. I mean, like Karen Reed case, there's a lot of amateur hour things that were done in the beginning of the investigation that resulted in a huge conspiracy. You got this case, the Kylie Rodney case. There was a little bit of amateur hour certain parts that to a lot of conspiracy theories. You know, you got a bunch of them. You got a few, Dalen Rounds a little bit. That's an older case. So that's how conspiracy.
Well, SF Investigates got the fire cams, him and Gray Hughes, and that's how we were able to see Kylie's car leave and come down that road and go right off into the water. Yeah.
It's a pretty terrible thing to see a young girl.
Yeah, it was. Be careful smoking on here, baby, because you can get me flagged.
Yeah, if you do it, you might want to stop your camera
or pop your camera up for a minute while you're smoking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I had you hidden behind the thing, but they said, Hubba, he's a hottie. I want to see him. And I was like, oh, fuck. They were like, take the comment down. I'm like, oh, fuck. All right. I noticed you were still smoking. I was like, oh, shit. Because I'm a smoker, too. Smoke them if you got them. I got 2 joints right here ready to go. But I'm just saying, you got to be careful in front of the camera.
Somebody, when I was talking about this the other day, somebody said that she, and I don't know if this is true or not, but that she was buckled into the back seat.
No, she wasn't.
No, she was not.
What happened was is that eventually the car went in and then she moved to the back basically out of fear while the car was filling up.
Okay.
Which is a normal thing. And basically AWP lied about that in the beginning of it so he can sell more strap cutters, and then admitted it that he changed it when afterwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he admitted that it's normal.
Yeah, but you know what's really fucked up? I have the original video. Me and Cappy have the original footage that they very first put out, the very first video they put out, which had them calling the grandparents or aunt and telling them on the phone what they found, and they weren't supposed to call them, nor was that supposed to be on the video.
Actually, it was posted on Facebook, I think.
And then it was on YouTube and Facebook, yeah. But they took it down and redacted it, took that part out, put it back up.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to let the police identify the body because it could be. It could have been
fucked up with that.
Yeah, it could have been another body. It could have been another person. They wouldn't know. But you can't identify someone. Only the coroner can identify someone.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, any other questions or you?
No, I think that hits all of them.
All right.
I mean,
thank you for answering those and having me up.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, you can hang out if you want. You can drop down if you want. We're gonna finish this interview, so we're gonna finish playing it. But you're welcome to stay up and listen if you want.
All right, I got a little bit. I'll hang out.
All right.
Which I think is sort of the big legacy of the case and the precedent that I think the family wanted, which was, there was the Alex Jones case. People knew generally about defamation and conspiracy theories could be expose you to legal action, and you're not protected by the First Amendment. But I still think there was this idea that, well, that's like news, that's journalism, that's TV, that's not internet, that's not YouTube. YouTube is like still something somehow different, and it's not. Yeah. It's no different, So.
Oh my God! So it wasn't. Would you agree that it was the jury who sent the message out?
Absolutely.
Ultimately, by the damages. So it wasn't like Mr. Robinson or Rodney or these individuals say, well, this is how much we want. No, this was the jury who said, this is your punishment, sir.
Hey, NorCal.
No, they David even
What's up, baby?
Hey, baby.
What's going on?
What's up, guys? I just wanted to help answer a question about the water levels and why it took some time for Placer County to find her.
Okay.
We were in a serious drought that summer, so the water levels were like every day, like 15 feet dipping. Like it was like one day they would be at, maybe 45 feet from the shore. The next day it would be down to like 25. The next day it would be down to like 15. It was like the levels were dropping so fast. I think that when they went out there initially to look for her, you know what I mean? 2 weeks prior, when they sent the boats out and everything, like the water levels were higher. And then 2 weeks later, when they got out there, they had dipped so low. So I think that's my theory of why it took them so long to find her.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, love you. Bye.
Thanks.
Love you. Bye.
I just want to make it stop.
What'd you say?
I said she lives out that way, so she has a better idea of it, you know?
The name gives it away.
Yeah.
NorCal girl, like, you know.
I just want him to stop. And at one point, he turned to the jury and he said, "And I need your help."
Oh,
so
my God.
that's what it was about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. I mean, that's just so, because it doesn't seem like it was going to, and it's been a couple years since Kylie Rodney, right? And you still have, and I think it's fair to even call out the fact that there's sectors, various channels still that continue to say, you know, well, it's a cover up, it's fake, it wasn't real, or it's an Epstein situation. I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, okay, like, you know, but not as damaging as what Upchurch has done.
No, and again, you know, that goes back to, if people want to speculate about, you know, oh, it was foul play. I mean, candidly, I don't personally believe it was foul play. I don't, you know, one of the things that he brought up was, you know, why did it take so long for them to find her? And we put into evidence, which I think I've sent to you, was the CHP report, which talks about the water levels, you know, were, I think it was a 13-foot change in exposed shoreline between August 6th and August 21st. And by the time August 21st, you know, there were drones that were seeing the car because the water had receded. You know, so they missed it initially, but they, you know, in fact, some people think that it was found by the air and that AWP just kind of staged that whole deal where they claimed to have found the car, that they already had found it, in fact, with a drone. And then that whole thing was, you know, staged. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying. So here I go. See, this is protected by the First Amendment, what I'm saying.
Right. Well, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you have questions about her autopsy, or, you know, people are saying the law, that's separate. Right. And there was confusion about this case in general, because I had people come in my comments and say, well, this is how she died. We're not talking about her death in this case, guys. That wasn't what this case was about.
Well, and just to circle back on that, I mean, this was a big thing, was even AWP, which, you know, I have a lot of personal feelings about that video that they put out.
You and I both.
Yeah, they should have been sued for that video by Jagger. That was fucked up what they did.
The way that was a big thing, because I mean, it came out like the way that they monetized that. You know, AWP had not been doing active cases. I don't know if they've done an active case since. That was one that they showed up on the scene. But you know, the way that those guys get paid is by or did at the time. I don't know what's going on now, you know, given what happened. But they would get the first 30 days of YouTube monetization revenue. I'm like, you only get the first 30 days. You don't get the long tail, you know, revenue stream. So that puts a big thing on, like, your video better crush in the first 30 days, right? Or else.
The most nastiest thing, one of the nasty things I heard about AWP was when, like, one of the people that left explained how they purposely made sure to film, like, I think a father or something finding out that they found the remains of a kid. And they made sure to tell the cameraman to get the tears, to get the crying. That's a fucked up thing. That's pretty fucked up, in my opinion. I'm just saying. That's a level of fucked up, you know, I can't imagine. But yeah.
Agree.
Oh, there you go. No, you're fine. I see you. You may have to switch your battery. Oh, you're fine. I had the same issue yesterday. You don't have to tell me about that. You don't have to tell me. Days out, and there wasn't a former AWP person who was a witness in this trial. Is that correct?
That was Ryan's only witness was Doug Bishop from AWP. And,
that was Ryan's witness.
Yeah, that was his only witness. He
testified. You don't have to tell me about that.
Tell us about Doug.
Yeah, and you know, in that.
No, I'm sure his testimony wasn't bought or anything. You know, he was just, you know, just wanted to help a good friend of his. and all that he got a Hellcat from.
Video that they made, Doug Bishop is like visibly distraught when they find the car, and he obviously accepted that Kylie was real. And we had Nick Wren, who found Kylie, went down to the car.
Thank you, Brandy Wine, for the gift of membership.
And dove and was the diver who found her. So, there was no question that even those guys believed she was real, right? So that was a big thing.
I mean, they saw her under the water and the conditions that she was in and whatnot, but they still did their videos. And there were people that were trying to, by the American Cartel LLC, their own admission that they try to unblur Kylie Rodney's photos. And I'm assuming they only got them from. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah.
No,
there was a creator.
Thank you, Down the Rabbit Hole. Thank you. And thank you for doing this interview. It says, hey, Queen, chat, Sharon just stopped by, share some love. Thank you. For
Down the Rabbit Hole News, you did such a great job. I'm so proud of you, and you're up to like 94,000 subs. That is freaking awesome, chick. Thank you for doing this interview.
Out here, who was also like in that little associated group, who unblurred.
She's talking about Clutch Those Pearls, also known as Justin, also known as AKA Monkey Man, who has a pet monkey. He attempted to unblur the image because he wanted to prove the conspiracy, if the conspiracy theory was correct, that she was naked in the back of the car, because AWP, being the unscrupulous pieces of shit they were, decided to really go on interviews. And whenever they asked about clothes, they would only answer, she had shoes on, and just let the speculation fly with that one, because they only cared about making money. These people only cared about making money, and they didn't care about spreading misinformation or implying that this little girl was in the back of the car naked. So Justin attempted to unblur the image, which was the craziest thing I ever seen, because even if he was successful and he put a 16-year-old naked child in the back on a live stream, that's considered a certain prawn that would get you a lot of time in jail. So I can't even.
Isn't the attempt illegal? I would think that the attempt would be illegal.
I don't know about an attempt, but I know that, that was never a good idea to attempt to put a naked 16-year-old girl on a live stream, or attempt to unblur the image of a dead body of a 16-year-old girl. I don't know what he was thinking at the time. That was crazy.
And Kylie Rodney's, he got a lot of crap for it too. I mean, people were really pushing back for him doing that. So there was a group of people that were doing that. But anyways, go ahead with the so AWP monetization. What happened?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was their motive to make a video like that, and that whole crazy thing with the tow truck driver. I don't know if you recall that thing. That was just a complete charade. Yeah. It's just, and that was something they did.
So what they did, AWP, because I keep having to explain this because there's a lot of shit. They basically got a random guy that ran up to them and took everything he stated as fact and put his interview on their video. And this guy basically described Jagger. And not only described Jagger, they showed a picture of Jagger in the clothes and basically implied Jagger was with Kylie, was the last person that was with Kylie in the video. Basically setting a hate mob after him. Based upon the words of a random guy that walked up to them and just made up a good story. They just did that. They didn't send it to the police. They didn't say, you know what, let's not put this in the video because we might be alerting the suspects, or maybe this could be bullshit, or this could be for clout. They decided to put it in their video and accuse I think 17 or 16-year-old kid of being a murderer, and have an entire crew of creekers and everyone go after this poor kid. Fantastic move by AWP. Truly great, wonderful job. That's sarcasm, by the way, just in case if you don't know.
To hype it up and to make money off of it, which I think is gross. But again, that's whatever. I guess they can do that. That First Amendment. They didn't make any false claims like the family wasn't real and Kylie wasn't real. So that's why, they're able to do that. So
what was he there to testify to as far as getting money?
The idea was supposed to be that the internet was ablaze with Kylie Rodney talk and speculation, which is not really a defense. It's a defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. It's a little bit like if you have kids, it's like, oh well, other people were doing it too. It's not really a defense, but also other people really weren't doing it, not at the scale, and not. I mean, I'm not aware of
Yes, just because other people are doing it does not make you exempt from crimes. It's like if everyone goes into a store and robs a TV, and you say, you know what, everyone else is robbing TVs, and you go into the store too, and the cops get you, you can't say, well, everyone else was robbing TVs. That's not a good defense. You're gonna fucking
Right.
it's not...
Thank you for dropping 5 memberships on us. If you got one, please start. Thank you. Sorry to slip that in. Go ahead, B2.
That's fine.
The controversy of the family is in it for a scam and they're fake. Like that's all Upchurch stuff. Like that. We made a big point of that. Like you keep saying that other people were doing it, but like why haven't you put in any evidence of that? Or why didn't you call some other YouTuber or put in other videos or you know, like as far as we know, no one was saying that. And again, who's still saying it now? You know, making videos.
He explains that later on that if you don't live like, I think was it 100 miles or something like that, some sort of distance, he can't force you with a subpoena. You have to be volunteered, and at that point. So
but Bodie says, I'm surprised Doug agreed to be a witness for Ryan, unless of course he was subpoenaed. I'm not. He gave Ryan gave him a Hellcat.
Yeah, I think it was volunteer.
The other one, what the hell's his name? Gave him 100,000.
Jared, he gave 100,000.
Jared. So he gave Doug a Hellcat and gave Jared 100,000. Of course, he went to testify for him. Fuck right.
I'm sure that was one of the questions this attorney asked Bishop. Hey, did you get any sort of monetary gift from Mr. Ryan? Yeah, I got a $100,000 Hellcat. I'm sure your credibility is not exactly
right.
You know, great at that point. Let's just say that much. You know what I mean?
Calling her insulting names and continuing some of those exhibits that I saw you played last night. Like no one else was doing that to this day, as recently as the week before trial. So it was just relentless.
Yeah. How does, and I know you can't, I mean, completely up to you if you could answer this question, but like with AWP, and to me, it's always like a double-edged sword, at least personally, how I feel about them, because it's kind of like, well, yeah, I thank them because they found her, right? And that, yes. But it was the behavior that happened afterwards. And then also when they accepted whatever donation from Ryan Upchurch, and somehow you have people that say, well, see, that means that Ryan Upchurch he's a decent guy. You know, he's willing to give you his Hellcat or whatever the hell. I mean, how does the family, what is their take on AWP?
Yeah, I can't speak for I'm going to be very clear. I can't speak for the whole family. I represented David and Daniel. You know, Lindsay, the mom, did not want to be part of the lawsuit. I totally understand that. I don't purport to speak for her feelings. I can tell you what, I think it's a complicated feeling of they're grateful that, they found Kylie because nobody else had found her. Right. So that part they were thankful for. But didn't appreciate being filmed without their consent right there on the water's edge, right when it happened. Certainly didn't appreciate that this Lindsay finds out about it from Facebook because
I knew that happened. I wasn't sure if that was the case.
Yeah, that is the case. That's how she found out, and that's why the opinion of AWP I think soured after that because they were promoting wanted to be first, wanted to. Get the notoriety for it. So there's some gratitude that they were the ones who found her, but these other later things kind of I don't know, had an impact on the way they subsequently felt, I guess you could say.
Oh my God. And then followed up with that video that, I mean, definitely made a pretty little bag for them. So I don't know.
That was also why, it was important that we played that video of Ryan Upchurch working on the theme song for AWP. Like, and they were working together. Like this whole thing was really good business for both of them. That they, Ryan got this new viewership. AWP has all this goodwill. At least it was very short lived because of the criminal.
What happened after that?
Jared and which came out. That came into the trial and we didn't put it in. I mean, they brought it up.
They came into the trial. How?
The jury heard it. I mean, I came up in the cross exam of Nick Wren, I think is when it came up. when Ryan Upchurch's own lawyers elicited that testimony that, the founder of AWP was charged with a rape charge. The jury did overhear that, and it was not something.
If you don't know, Jared, I think the head of AWP was Jared, I believe, was accused of raping his cousin, and later on his sister accused him. I believe there was a settlement, some sort of a plea deal. I'm not 100%, but I think there was. I think he attempted to be charged only as a juvenile because at the time he did it, he was under the age of 18, Jared, and that's how he got away with that situation. So that's pretty crazy that Ryan's attorneys basically fucked up and revealed that AWP's the guy that, he was about to make a theme song for and he was cool with and did that, had that hanging over his head. You would think that would be something you would not want to be put out there, but to the jury. But okay, great tactic, Ryan. Really, your lawyers are earning $3 million you probably paid them.
I planned on making any reference to in the trial, but they heard it. So I don't know what difference it made, but it's just an interesting sideshow.
I mean, cause I don't know how much you follow that, Chris. Like literally, that was like after that, it soured a lot of opinion. I mean, my channel was the one to interview, the victim, and I think that case is concluded. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of. It's weird because it was a Kylie Rodney stuff that was happening.
We actually had a while back, Jared on this show, way before the whole thing coming out with the cousin stuff. It was his response to Jim Terry. Basically, he basically talked about how much of a scammer and piece of shit that guy was. And the whole thing about the Oprah episode and stuff like that. He had a terrible signal. He was only on for I think 30 minutes or something like that, but he was on the show.
And then the scandal, the AWP, because everybody was quitting from AWP after they found out. They had no idea.
Right. Yeah, none of those guys work there anymore. The New Yorker did an article about it, and they tried to contact David and Daniel, and then I talked to them through that. But I don't know if you ever read that. It was like a deep dive on AWP. Briefly mentioned Kylie. So, but yeah, that was a whole. That's just another crazy aspect to this that the family had to live through. So,
SF Investigates also testified, right? So how did that go?
Really helpful. Well, he was crucial because there's two things. One is given that we knew they were probably going to contend that Kylie wasn't real, we really needed to show the scale of the investigation. So I wanted someone ideally from law enforcement, but because the trial was in Tennessee, I can't subpoena anyone who's more than 100 miles away from the courthouse. They all have to agree to testify voluntarily. So that's when I started talking to Steve, because Steve had been there, on the ground. He was actually the one who told Dan and David that, AWP found the car and they went down to the water's edge together.
Yes, SF testified.
And so he was there for that. But not only was he there for that to tell you, the scale of the investigation, that it was real, he was also there for the subsequent aftermath of when Upchurch started posting stuff, and then he became, an object.
He became a target.
Yeah, right. And so he had two crucial roles to play. And most importantly, the reason he was first is that he had no stake in the outcome whatsoever. He wasn't paid. The family never hired him, never paid him $1, didn't pay him to be an expert witness, didn't. There was actually some talk of I would have preferred him to travel in person to Nashville, which he was willing to do. But it was well, if we offer to reimburse his expenses and do that, they might try to cross-examine him on that. So we're let's not even give them that opportunity. So let's just have him testify remotely, which is what he did. And I mean, he was very emotional about
really?
Because one of the questions I asked him was, Steve Fisher does a lot of missing persons work. He has worked with a lot of families who have lost a loved one. And in this way, where they become out of nowhere, thrust into some sort of public spotlight, their loved one was here today and they have just disappeared. And it's how can this happen? He has a lot of experience with that. Yeah. And, for him to testify that no family should ever be treated like this, that what they really need in the time of grieving is not to be, the subject of internet rumor and derision and defamation, and just how harmful that can be in that time. Because that's the other thing. I mean, these videos didn't come out, 4 years later, he suddenly learns about Kylie Rodney. It's in the moment. It's on her cremation day. I mean, he didn't know that. That was clear. It's not like he intentionally did, but it was just that's how reckless it is to start posting this kind of stuff.
So he was basically releasing defamatory information on the day this poor little girl's remains were being cremated. That's wonderful, Ryan. You're going to go to a special place in hell for what you've done.
Yeah,
that quickly after.
And I know he gets a lot of shit online, honestly.
Yeah.
He does because he gets into the mud of,
right.
investigations. And I don't like, I there's another side to Steve that I've seen as well. And so that's why I respect Steve Fisher a lot. But he got, even to this day, people are still dragging Steve over Kylie Rodney. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Y'all, like, we don't know. There's a lot of stuff that he doesn't share that people, when he gets into these cases, he doesn't always publicly.
And honestly, that's pretty right a lot of the times. I mean, like with that David case, he really did pretty well with that, actually, the information he got from there.
Talk about.
Yeah, and we also introduced through him the fire cam footage that basically shows Kylie's car going into the water and other things like that. That's
another exhibit, right? And I have that exhibit. I didn't get to show it yesterday. Oh my gosh.
It's a tough one to watch, but and we wouldn't have put it in if they would just have conceded that she was real and he was wrong to say that, but they didn't do that. They made us prove that she was a real person. That was our burden of proof at trial, which is how we got the Mama's Opry video that she played, which was very nice. Kylie's they opened the door to letting us put in this heart-wrenching video of Kylie playing,
which, by the way, was a nightmare scenario probably for the defense, because imagine you're playing. He probably played it close to the closing because he probably wanted them to see it, that particular image, my guess. And imagine you're seeing this poor 16-year-old girl playing, beautiful voice, music, and all this stuff. And what that probably felt to be in that jury room, being played on that video he was done for. That's probably why they hit him so hard. Because it was such a bad, and because he claimed that she wasn't real and all this stuff, they just added this stuff in, and it made his case even worse. If he would have just said, "Yeah, I screwed up, and I got into the thing, and I think she's real," I guarantee you, he would have been hit far, far less, and they wouldn't have been admitting half the shit that they would have been doing.
Her favorite song with her grandfather. Because they kept saying she's not real. Like, well, hey, if they say she's not real, we got to be able to put a video in saying she is. And so that was good.
When I saw that, Chris, I was like, this is her? I'd never seen that before, right? Yeah. And what really hit me, and I even told my chat yesterday, I said, you guys, like, this guy, whether you like him or not, musically, he has talent, right? Clearly, he's able to have a following. Here you have this young girl who is also talented, right?
Very talented. Yeah.
Right, very talented. I mean, she had vocals. I was like, oh my God, this is her.
Played many different instruments. Actually, that's like the most positive thing, and I think it's like the best result of the trial. Is that I asked Dan and David and David's wife, like, what good could come of this at the end of it? I mean, it's all been an emotional, intense emotional thing, and it was like, well, we've been looking at making a donation to like music schools in Kylie's name, or maybe like a foundation for like underprivileged kids to learn music, and that would be kind of something they can focus on now to move forward. So that's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. And I'm so glad that you clarified about.
Well, Ryan, your money's going to go to a good place. Take that into consideration. Your money that they're going to take from you is going to go to an underprivileged kid that can go to music school. Take that into, at least you'll get that, Ryan. You'll get that.
How these damages were calculated, that it wasn't like, well, here's this attorney telling them or the family. This was these jurors who saw the evidence for what it was, and they put a number there.
Yeah, I mean, I had talked to them about, well, we could ask for a number, and there's these methods like $1 per view or something, which was what one of the lawyers in one of the Alex Jones cases did. And the more I thought about that, I didn't like it, and they weren't comfortable with asking for a number, so we just didn't. We did not say a number at all. We just said it. We said it belonged to the high end of the range, but we left it up to them, and that's what they came up with. So,
do you feel like, and maybe this is just my thought, and because I hate that this is kind of like the feeling on the internet, right? That somehow Ryan Upchurch has tied himself to Kylie Rodney through this situation. And so what can we do, as commentators on the internet to remove that, right? Because I feel like I don't know Kylie, right? I have young siblings. I have children, that, my oldest is 18. So, kind of along the lines of that age. So I don't know how to.
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, and I think that they should be separated. And hopefully, as I was saying, there's more videos of her playing music. Maybe if the family would like, I could share those, or we could share those. And then, definitely, hopefully they can get this in motion. Some of these things we talked about, like the music school donation, or maybe foundation, or Dan had even talked about he does like wilderness tracking, and he was going to do that, like maybe do that at some of the local schools and maybe in her name, something like that. So definitely keep you in the loop about like future developments about that. But yeah, I mean, I think just remembering that she was real is, and honoring her memory is a good start.
Yeah. I mean, as a mom, I gave birth to 3 kids. So for somebody to come on the internet and say that one of my kids is not real, what? And giving birth is the most painful thing you could ever do in life. You know what I mean? Like what? And then watching your kids grow up and having your kids be hurt or going through emotions with I couldn't understand that. But to me, having you hear Chris talk about this, it kind of makes things a little bit more real versus this missing poster or this, picture of Kylie that's kind of frozen in time, that it's like.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that, and we talked about the scale of it, 3 million people, that's a lot. But I wanted the jury to understand the harm of that it's like we developed this visual in the trial of a sports stadium. Like Nashville just got awarded the Super Bowl. And so I think I even used the Super Bowl stadium of like 100,000 people. Well, you'd have to fill it. You imagine you fill it up and then you play all these terrible videos in the Jumbotron to a sold out Super Bowl. You'd have to empty the arena and fill it up 30 times and do that 30 times before you hit 3 million people. Like that's kind of the scale of that. And just something to make it like concrete, that's what that view count translates to. So that was, as you said, if it's for one person to say, that your child is not real or that it's a lie or that you're scamming or whatever is terrible. But to do it at that level is, intolerable in a civilized society.
Dehumanizing, right?
I wanted to use the word desecration, but I was told all that by my brothers who were lawyers who helped me on the case that like, I don't think you can say that. So.
They're like, tone it down. You can say it on the internet. Maybe.
If you say it that way. So.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate it. So, how many YouTube channels were you watching? Like a lot. I'm sure you were watching a lot of YouTube, and you're like, I'm so tired of YouTube.
It's so ruined right now. I got to go.
I'm so sorry.
Everything. I mean, there are channels that oh my god, I don't even want to say their names, so somebody might go watch them. But
please don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of craziness out there. That's why I'm on your channel. Yours was always more professional, higher intelligence.
Dude, that means a lot because
no shade to the other ones, but.
That means a lot because the chat knows I have my moments, where I'm like, and I lose my stuff. But oh my God, thank you so much. Well, at least I know that I'm a little bit managed. A couple of attorneys watch me, so shout out to the attorneys. So the chat has a lot of questions, and I want to make sure that I want to be mindful of your time and everything. I got
about 5 minutes before I actually have to do something, but I could let's fire away.
All right, so I'm going to start with the super chat first. It says, I have a question for the attorney. He doesn't have to answer it if he doesn't want to, but did he watch Ryan Upchurch? Oh, shout out to Queen Bee. And was any of that ever used in court? You've watched Queen Bee before?
I think that they did one when he posted the deposition that I watched. I probably did, and I
had. Fuck you, Ryan. I knew you were gonna fuck yourself over there that whole 7-hour fucking live stream. Go fuck yourself.
Remember that Melvin Cedino, Wicked Mel, also sued Upchurch, and at one point when that was going on, I was trying, like the mods and one of his channels was like helping find some of these old videos. The problem was a lot of stuff got deleted. Some of these channels got deplatformed or shut down for violating flashing a knife, for example.
Clearly.
But to answer that question, I'm sure that I did. And a lot of the stuff was used in court from live channels.
Oh, perfect. So Queen Bee, just so you know, like it wasn't just me. There was Queen Bee. There were so many other creators that kind of stood on that side. And this is why I think Queen Bee deserves a big shout out too. And so does B Tim, because Ryan Upchurch would hit links to these people. Some of these people were like, why are you doing this? And she was one of them, as well as her panel. Shout out to them. So I want to make sure that that's why he was wondering, like, did you use our material? Shout out to them.
Shout out to the Hive. We got a shout out. Also, we
hell yeah.
There's going to be more questions.
The OG Help Channel.
This is the OG Help Channel. Don't you know?
Says there was a DJ on FB who said my husband did not have cancer. What does that say? Cancer, and it impacted our business and livelihood. When he died of cancer, they quit. Social media can be horrific. It really is. I'm so sorry, Summer. Thank you so much. And then B Tim also has make sure to get his $500,000 in Pokemon cards before he tries to sell it.
I heard that on someone else, Chad Shepard, the former manager.
This one kind of shocked me because I'm like, holy fuck, is this guy really watching this?
Well, Chad Shepard is the former manager and gave him his recordings, I believe, allegedly, from what I was told. It may not be true, so I don't know. You know what I mean? And I apologize if it's not true. But from my understanding, he helped the attorney with recordings and things that he needed. So
Yeah, so he's watching this guy. He's just watching YouTube
The
now.
bone collector guy. That's who Adam Shepard is.
Yeah, I know. I watched it.
Okay.
I found it hilarious that, like, I made sure to ask
Chad Shepard. I'm sorry. I said Adam. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No problem. I made sure to ask a troll question. Make sure to get his $500,000 in Pokemon cards. He tries to sell it before he tries to sell it. He brags about it a lot. I want him to, like, personally. I think it'd be great to just burn the Pokemon cards in front of Ryan Upchurch and watch his.
Oh, he'd have a gosh dang meltdown. He would have a meltdown.
I'd be like, listen, we'll remove $1 million from it if you sit here with this chair and watch your dreams burn before our eyes.
Is making videos about Ryan Upchurch that I've been watching. You know, I have this. I'm watching Chad. I've watched it all. Trust me, if it's Upchurch content. But yeah, I heard that. I don't know if it's true yet, but no to that question. Can he file bankruptcy? So this is really important because it's a defamation verdict and it's an intentional infliction of emotional distress verdict, and the jury found that he acted with malice. You can't discharge this in bankruptcy.
Wait, what? You can't discharge it, and he doesn't have insurance either. What does that mean? That means all his assets are being sold.
Alex Jones just tried to do that. It doesn't work. So no,
doesn't work.
He can't get out of it.
No, and people are like, well, he just get the insurance. What?
There's no insurance. Yeah. The insurance doesn't cover intentional misconduct, you know? So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, insurance is like for like someone trips in front of your house and then you get sued, or at least the housing insurance or car insurance. You could get media, like limited media liability, whatever the hell that is, but they don't cover shit. CoffeeZilla got screwed over on that one.
Well, and then people are confused about the appeal part too. That it's like, well, he can just appeal it, and they can reduce it. I'm like, okay.
Did they show? So this was interesting. No, I've never seen autopsy photos, but the autopsy report, the birth certificate, the Highway Patrol report, her high school graduation photo. I mean, what the evidence of her was, just cumulative, as you might say in the law. I mean, it was overwhelming. So,
did you bring any of her classmates? Any of her classmates to testify that she was real?
No, we didn't. But I mean, we had the last thing that we had was Daniel Rodney, because remember I told you that about how he's fighting me about the birth, or I guess it was technically the death certificate has this, the box isn't checked for high school graduate, and it said she was a high school graduate, and he was reading the box for whether you're Hispanic, which is a completely different thing. It's just anyway.
Wait, what? You're telling me this motherfucker was confusing the box for a Hispanic with high school graduate?
Nah, he said it wasn't marked, but it should have been marked. It was marked on the other one, and then there was another check mark that was by. You'll have to rewind it, but
I'll rewind it.
There was another check mark. He was just being fucking Ryan's dumbass.
We had was Daniel Rodney, because remember I told you that about how he's fighting me about the birth, or I guess it was technically the death certificate has this, the box isn't checked for high school graduate, and it said she was a high school graduate. The box is not checked for high school graduate on the death certificate, and okay. Daniel Rodney is pissed about it.
Okay.
She was a high school graduate.
This isn't checked for high school graduate, and it said she was a high school graduate, and he was reading the box for whether you're Hispanic.
Yeah, see, he was reading the box whether you're Hispanic.
Which is a completely different thing. It's just anyway. But we put in the photo of Dan with at the graduation with Kylie, and I mean it was just heartbreaking. But yeah.
Oh man, do you think this verdict will make him stop?
Ryan, you are the stupidest motherfucker I have ever met. I thought I would met some stupid motherfuckers around here.
Yeah, this has got to be one of the stupidest fucking things I've seen done in a long time.
And we met a lot of stupid people. We met a lot.
Yeah, he confused the boxes, basically. Yeah, he confused the boxes. But yeah, he's a dumb fuck. I can't believe this. I honestly cannot believe he didn't just apologize. And you know what I'm saying? Be like, I was really fucked up. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done this. This is, I shouldn't have done this. And this is crazy to me.
This is so stupid. He's such an idiot.
Marie Lavu says, $5 super sticker. I'm usually in the bushes, but I listen to QB in the Hive stream while at work. Definitely helped me get through my work day channel. Thank you, Hive. Thank you for being here, baby. I appreciate you popping out.
It's good that we're seeing a lot of different names. That's cool.
Yeah, we've seen some new names popping out of the bushes too, for sure. My Michelle says, hold YouTube's beer.
Oh my god, right?
I just can't believe it, honestly.
I can't believe it. I feel like that song, I can't believe it. Oh, but I believe it, like that song.
Yes,
I don't know.
Rowena, they're already posted. B Tim sent it over to me.
Yeah, they already took his. They already put liens on his assets, and they got taxes from 2023.
Yeah, here, I'll pull it up real quick because they definitely fucking do. They are not fucking around, not even a little bit. Here,
And for the appeal, he has to put up 10%. So he's going to have to put up like $1.7 million to even attempt an appeal, which is a lot of money. That's a lot. That's a scary amount of money. I'm just telling you that much.
Yeah, so here's his.
Oh, yeah. That's only page 2, I think. I got it.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so, yeah,
No,
phase 2 is what it says. Phase 2.
Phase 2. And you can see, like, you scroll, it has the houses that there's liens on.
Uh-huh.
You're going to go for.
Yeah, I got judgment paperwork. Here's the judgment paperwork. Jury verdict. This action came before the court for a trial by jury. The issues have been tried and the jury has returned its verdict. My God.
Yeah, he's pretty stupid.
It is ordered and adjudicated. Well, it says adjudicated that the jury found in favor of the plaintiffs on their claims for defamation per se and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The jury awarded plaintiff Daniel Rodney. What is this?
I can't because it's too small for me to see.
Okay,
you gotta make it bigger.
I'll make him bigger because I got all these up here with his.
I can actually get my copy and read it. Give me a second.
Well, here's his houses. This is what Rowena wanted to see. That's the judgment here. But
yeah,
down here is what you wanted to see, right? Here's where it is the quit claim deed and shit.
Yeah, that stuff. Like you see all those houses.
Yeah, here's this release deed of trust, home equity line of credit deed of trust, quit claim deed. Elm Street, quit claim deed 10 North Pole Street, quit claim deed highway warranty deed for Kingston Springs Road. I'm guessing these are all houses.
Yeah.
So they've already started putting liens on all of these?
They're starting to find out all his assets that he has.
Oh, doing a collection of them because they got his fucking, they have his fucking IRS wages and incomes and all that. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're basically finding out they better put the Pokemon. They better put the Gengar in the fucking
IRS direct pay confirmation at $250,000 payment to the IRS for taxes as of 11/3/2025. Damn, Pam. Fuck.
We need the forensic accounting. There's a little bit more of the interview. We're almost done. There's just a couple of more questions he's going to answer.
The reason I'm like, I don't know, is that like Alex Jones lost his appeal to the Supreme Court, and then he said it again like last week.
Yeah, no. I don't.
This is me asking my question. Can you force the selling of his music catalog?
I don't think so. This is somebody who,
yeah,
his channel would have to go. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just going to, and I know y'all going to get mad at me, but it's the truth. He doesn't understand. Come on, guys.
We'll see. Can you force the selling of his music catalog? We're looking at, I think we can file a lien against it and collect against it and like direct them to pay a certain amount to this judgment. So that's something we're looking at.
Oh, they're going after the catalog. Oh, poor Ryan. They're going after the catalog. They're going to put a lien on your catalog. Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. Well, those are some of the questions. And then some of the people, let me see. Guys, anything else? Let me see. I just want to make sure. I don't see any other. There's just so many comments.
Yeah, they're going to do his houses,
his
cars, his motorcycles, his trucks.
His catalog, his Pokemon.
Yeah, his Pokemon collection, his catalog. Anything he's got worth of value.
Anything value is gone. His whole life's work gone because of his arrogance and stupidity.
He fucked around and he found out, boy.
If only people listen to B. Tim, I'm just saying, people listen to me, they get out of things.
No,
you got to become a YouTuber now. You're monetized.
I think he started a YouTube channel too, this guy. So
just recently, that was the last thing. Maybe we should do that before I have to go. They tried to say he wasn't monetized, and his former lawyer had produced the monetization data that.
Did this motherfucker just say he wasn't monetized, but then sent the paperwork showing that he was monetized? Before
did he just say that? I don't know. Please run that back. Because did he just say that for sure?
Yeah, he just said that.
Just recently. That was the last thing. Maybe we should do that before I have to go. They tried to say he wasn't monetized. And his former lawyer had produced the monetization data that showed, remember that video I talked about zooming in on Dan's car, like the worst video for Dan? That video was monetized. And so they said in the trial, oh, his YouTube channel was never monetized. Maybe it's not monetized now. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my God, Ryan, you're such a fucking idiot. Like, this is worse than Betty when she fucking pro-sade. Why did you even pay these lawyers? You would have been better off pro-sade for yourself.
Oh my God, dude.
How stupid.
But I had the numbers that his lawyer had given me. So the jury heard that.
Oh my gosh. And does he have to put 18 million escrow to appeal? I'm pretty sure that's a yes.
Well,
right.
We're looking at that. I think he has to put up 10%. So I think he'd have to put up 1.8 to try to appeal. Was the deposition necessity a part? I don't know what that means, but was it a part of our strategy? Yeah. I mean, we played those deposition clips back to back to back, because some of his answers for that were, again, the free speech absolutist things that he can say whatever he wants on the internet. That was a big thing. The one about I play a YouTube personality, that was a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll pass that on to the family there.
The family's in the chat. Make sure you guys show your love. Well, Chris, I'm gonna let you go.
I think I did a good job, and I didn't do any, didn't reveal anything I wasn't supposed to. So
we'll find out, right? We'll find out.
They told me I could come on here, and so I did it with their support. I hope. So.
Yeah.
Right,
Thank you guys. Well, Chris, you're a YouTuber now. You gotta come. Listen, you gotta come back and let us know what's going on. All right.
The craziest thing, one of the exhibits she shows that I'm going to play. It's when this idiot fucking Ryan Upchurch is on Jay's panel. And this idiot is like literally saying the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
You think about it from a business perspective.
Oh, the video. I think I remember this one.
Why the lie, though? Why wouldn't they say who her real identity is?
Because if you ask me personally, if you think about it from a business perspective, it is a really easy way to make money. I could make $1 million in 2 weeks off of faking a death. I would get caught, like these people are going to get caught, but I could get that money into the GoFundMe account. Correct.
My question is after seeing what Alex Jones just went through with a defamation suit for the Sandy Hook stuff. Now I'm sure you've got people behind the scenes that are kind of letting you know what's okay and what's not okay as far as coming out and saying. I don't know what you got going on there.
I don't.
But okay. But so my question is, if we get to the end of this and if your theory is completely wrong, are you worried about anything as far as legal ramifications coming from this? Because that's what I would worry about.
No. I'm not.
Someone needs to have a Curb Your Enthusiasm song with this, like this part here, this guy here. We got to make that clip, Queen. We got to make that clip with this part here, where this guy asks this very sensible question, like, what if you're wrong and you get fucking sued to oblivion? And he's like, are you worried about that? And he says, I'm not. And then we put the fucking clip of like the $17.5 million judgment with the Curb Your Enthusiasm, like da 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 da, and while they're hauling away his furniture from his fucking house and his car is being driven away, we play the Curb Your Enthusiasm song as this is going on. Oh my God, what a fucking idiot! You're so fucking. You are honestly, Ryan, you are the dumbest motherfucker on this platform. You are dumber than the quartering. You're dumber than Shady for Christ. You're dumber than Rev. You're dumber than all these people. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think it was possible that you were this stupid, that there was someone this incredibly stupid, because I thought evolution would weed you out of the gene pool, that you would just disappear like the dodo bird. But you have proven that you exist. It's like finding out the Sasquatch exists or unicorns exist. There's someone this stupid that exists in this world. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's hilarious. Oh God.
Because if everything I'm saying ain't true, somebody would have come out and prove me wrong.
Not necessarily.
I think you'd have had a lawsuit already.
Facts. That's why I told everybody, I said, come on, sue me. I said, I want y'all to take me to court. I said,
I'm wrong. We should play at that point the Curb Your Enthusiasm song.
look up my lawyer. Take me to court. They won't.
Every day with Jay, I know you guys are saying she was one of
the. Well, they did sue you, Ryan. You got your wish. You ever heard of like the genie? You know, be careful what you wish for. You know, you got your wish. You got your wish. Should we hear that one more time? He's gonna tell us about him being sued. I love this as an exhibit. This is the greatest. This is the greatest fucking question.
You think about it from a business perspective, it is a really easy way to make money. I could make $1 million in 2 weeks off of faking a death. I would get caught, like these people are going to get caught, but I could get that money into the GoFundMe account. Facts.
My question is after seeing what Alex Jones just went through with a defamation suit for the Sandy Hook stuff. Now I'm sure you've got people behind the scenes that are kind of letting you know what's okay and what's not okay as far as coming out and saying, I don't know what you got going on there.
I don't.
But okay. But so my question is, if we get to the end of this and if your theory is completely wrong, are you worried about anything as far as legal ramifications coming from this? Because that's what I would worry about.
No. I'm not. Because if everything I'm saying ain't true, somebody would have come out and proved me wrong.
Not necessarily.
Well, I think you'd have had a lawsuit already.
Facts. That's why I told everybody, I said, come on, sue me. I said, I want y'all to take me to court. I said, look up my lawyer. Take me to court. They won't.
Every day with Jay, I know you guys are saying she was one of the few. Yeah,
I tried to reach out to you and be like, dude, what's your problem?
Nope.
Like family or anything?
To her, and I got to give it to her for that.
They can't. If they do, they're busted.
So none of her like family or anything has ever tried to reach out to you and be like, dude, what's your problem?
Nope.
The boy.
All you gotta do is show a birth certificate and you're done.
Hey, bro, how are you?
Hey, honey. I just want to hop up real quick. I gotta rewind just a little bit. When you're talking about his music catalog, there's going to be more people, not just Ryan, that are going to be losing a lot of money.
True.
Because Ryan doesn't own all of his catalog. What Ryan did is some people he paid in shares of his catalog.
So they're going to take his shares then?
Right. They'll take, I don't know. I don't know if they can take, I don't know. That's what.
Well, probably take from his proceeds, like what he gets from the proceeds from the catalog. They're going to put it in. That's what it sounded like from them.
But people that he's done this with, it was too much to explain in chat. But people that he's done this with for months and months and months, they've all been complaining because they haven't gotten their money, because his manager has left him. His music distributor has left him. Nobody's going to touch him. You're not talking about a catalog that is worth tons of money either.
Yeah, I think he's broke. I think after this, he'll be the brokest one of. I think he'll be the broker than Shane for Christ, to be honest with you, because at least she has a tent.
Well, she has Rev too. He don't even got baby mama no more, you know.
Yeah.
So but I just want to come up and find that. So a lot of people, I'm sure, are going to be like, "Oh shit, I owned this much of his catalog. What's going to happen to my money?"
Yeah, I think it sucks that people have to suffer because he's a dummy. He's the dumbest man on the internet. I didn't think I would find this someone this dumb who was literally offered multiple chances to save his own fucking career and money, and he just destroyed it.
And he's finished. But one thing that was kind of missed, it was right after NorCal was hopping down, excuse me, and Rabbit, and he was talking about, I don't know if it was her father or her grandfather that was on the stand, and there was a question asked, and they were talking about they need it to stop. They need all this to stop. And the attorney said that he looked at the jury and he said, with your help.
Yeah.
Talk about a mic drop.
Yeah. I mean, like, he wasn't going to stop. He didn't stop.
Right.
Like this guy, most people get hit with defamation lawsuits. They start, silencing themselves. They start thinking themselves, make sure. And now he just basically didn't stop, man. It was really
Can they take his YouTube channel?
All the proceeds are on the table.
No, I mean, can they take it down? Like,
I don't
forget.
know. I don't know about that. That's beyond my understanding of what he could do. My guess is they're just going to go after every single bit of assets he could possibly, and they're going to drain him dry for years until they get his money.
Yeah.
And they're going to take his money and they might make a scholarship for some lucky kid that might go to college with the money. So,
isn't that a great idea?
Yeah,
that's a beautiful.
I personally would probably make sure the Pokemon cards are grabbed and anything that he loves, and I would burn it in front of him and make him suffer.
No, what you need to do is get one of the most expensive cars, throw the Pokemons in the car, and then set both of them on fire. There you go.
Yeah, just that's pretty much it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Can you believe how dumb this guy is?
I couldn't believe that his former attorney sent over the monetization when his present attorney said he wouldn't monetize.
Yeah, he probably didn't tell his present attorney all the information because when he probably was like, oh, was he monetized at the time? And his attorney didn't have an idea because he probably had to really quickly, jump on this case because
I can't imagine having him as a client for anything.
Yeah.
Including a haircut. You know what I mean? Like, God.
Most of the family was granted private citizen under California law and was granted perceived damages. Yeah, I knew he was in big trouble as soon as he lost the jurisdiction because he was trying to.
Yeah.
Because I think it's capped in his state.
It is. It's capped in Tennessee. Yep.
Yeah, it's capped. So as soon as he lost California, he should have immediately ran to those people and settled. That would have been the first thing I would have probably told them. Like your losses are quite high, much higher at this point. And if you go up to these people now and offer them while their attorney fees are low and an apology, you probably would have gotten off pretty easily. But he's dumb. He's the dumbest man on the internet.
And I thought it was so interesting to know that the jury is the one that set the amount because I did not know that.
Oh, they wrote it.
That was wonderful. Yep. A lot of people say, why is it so much? Well, because he has money and he didn't just say a couple things to 100 people. If you hit him, if the judgment was 1.2 million on me, I would lose my mind. To him, he would write a check. He already paid his attorney like 1 point something million, so that wouldn't hurt him. You have to. It's justice. It's like you have to put hurt on the person.
Yeah.
They destroyed him. I mean, they didn't even hurt him. They ran him over a couple.
I think he's gonna have to figure out how to make a lot of money really quickly, or he's pretty much done.
Yeah.
I think but the problem is like this guy. I think he's lost a lot of the people that liked him, a lot of people that followed him, and I think he's not going to get the following he needs. He's done for, and I think he destroyed his image. You're basically tormented a family that lost a child for years, and I think that's what's going to really be problematic for him in the future. And there's going to be more information that comes out of this trial. I'm telling you, there's going to be exhibits. There's going to be testimony, deposition transcripts. I want the Ryan Upchurch deposition transcript.
I do too.
While he's in the trial, because this is some crazy stuff that you're handed a fucking birth certificate and you're like, oh, look, that doesn't prove someone's real.
Right.
Bro,
I mean, whatever. You have to hurt the person with the amount. That's why it's called damages. You know what I mean? If it doesn't hurt you, it's not damage.
That's a good question. I never asked that question if Jagger testified. I don't think he mentioned Jagger testifying, so I don't know.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm gonna hop down. Thank you so much. Have a good night. It's just too much to explain. Sorry. Bye.
Right. That they did basically $1 per view, which is quite high. Usually, you're not getting paid $1 a view. If you get paid $1 a view, you'd be making ludicrous money on YouTube. But they wanted to make him suffer. Queen, are you there? Queen?
I'm here.
All right, I got to skedaddle. I'm going to go.
All right. we're going to end this out and probably head on over to the sidebar to go review BJ.
All right. I'll see you, Queen.
All right, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye. All right, guys. We are going to head over to the sidebar and review BJ's live from last night and today. So I will see y'all over there. Catch y'all on the flip side. Cute. Oh, we're in YouTube featured. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up on the way in and on the way out, baby. All right. To those of y'all that want to watch the BJ stuff, I'll meet you guys at the Hive sidebar. To those of y'all that don't, I will see you guys on the next one. QB out.